10 minutes late boy, but it's fine. We make those. Replay review. Let's do some goddamn replay review, man. It's been a little bit. Let's do this real quick. That's the one. Grab that shit. Grab this right here. And then we're good to go. Yes. Alright. Bonjour. Hello. How dare you speak French in my presence? I cannot believe this. Where is the replay review channel? Where is the replay review channel? Okay, let's see. Where the fuck did I leave off is the good question, right? Clunk, we did this one. I remember this for sure. Alright, hello. We did the Clunk review. Did I do this Percy one? I feel like... Yes? Yeah, I think so, right? Yeah, because this one was like, you know, use your command grab, you're not using your command grab. I remember this. I think that's where we stopped. People are just, you know, fuck it, we ball, fuck it, we ball. Versuja versus Catalina defensive playstyle. Wait, I think I did this too. Or... No, I don't think so, actually. No, I don't think I've done this. Yeah. Music's a little high? Oh, I can turn it down a bit. I have my own headset turned a little low, so that might be why. Is that better? Hopefully quieter, but not too quiet. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. I have my own headset turned down, so I couldn't quite tell. So it has kind of gotten away from me again, huh? I mean, we're like a month and a half behind. It's happening again. But there's not as many. Maybe because I've been doing as much. People have kind of not been posting. Can I add replays to my thread? Sure. Yeah, I don't see why not. Okay, wait, no, this is doable. This is actually doable. We may or may not win these. I believe in myself. If I go real crazy, okay, no. I was like, I can do all of these today. I can't do all of these today, but I can do a lot of these today, actually. Okay. Let's, how do I get this fucking thing off get this stupid, there you go. I don't care about Marvel Rivals drops, bro. I'm not a Marvel Rivals player. Alright, folks, we are back. More Gran Blue, more replay review. And, you know, November 24th, but it's okay. I think over the holidays, you know, people had other things to do. Even though this is quite in the past, the backlog is only like 15, 20 replays, something like that. Could be worse, certainly. But we've got, I believe this is Versuja, which starts with, oh, it's Kwai, yeah, it is Kwai. Kwai from a couple months ago here, talking about Versuja versus Catalina defensive playstyle. Hello, I've recently broken the master barrier and ran for this Catalina a few times. Let me turn this down just ever so slightly, actually. Run this Catalina a few times. Both the character and their playstyle I have struggled with, and I figure I should lock in and learn how to deal with them. I know Catalina's super strong right now, but I feel like I fell apart against a really defensive, reactive playstyle. I couldn't successfully approach her almost the entirety of the 2 sets we played, and when she cornered me, she would sit right outside my poke range just to whiff punish. Okay, I mean, I'll tell you right away, this just happens. And Versuja is one of, I guess no, just this right here when she cornered me. Versuja is one of the worst characters in the game at dealing with this, because sort of the answer to someone who's just RP, like standing there and just waiting for you to whiff something and kill them, is you want to sort of just take a chance on them sitting there being reactive and like 6XL out of the corner, right? And then you can get them to block something, and it's plus you sort of try to fight your way out of the corner from there. The problem is Versuja's 6XL goes nowhere when it first starts. It's actually the reason that she's in discussion for worst defense of the game, I think, is because like her just immediately hitting 6XL like that, which is what we want to do in those cases, she literally just doesn't move, right? So like this sort of thing is incredibly effective against her, unfortunately. This is one of the biggest weaknesses of the character, realistically. Like, it's not that you can't do anything against it, but like, because she is this way, you're just going to have to take a huge risk to actually get out of the corner as Versuja when this happens. You're gonna have to like hit some big ass button and hope you counter hit them or something. As for the defensive reactive playstyle, we've talked about it before previously, but yeah, we'll see. Well, I want to see how this actually looks here and if I can add anything. So my biggest questions are, how do I beat this Catalina operator? When you figure it out, let me know as well. How should I approach a defensive reactive opponent, and how can I escape the corner versus this patient playstyle? Okay, sure. This is a 10-minute replay here. That's fine. Let's take a look. So, as always, with the replay reviews, it's the you know how it'll be. We do two sort of things that we focus on. One is if you can't analyze, like if you're trying to analyze your own replay and you're just not sure where to look for mistakes, where to look for points of improvement, very simply, when you get hit, when you lose your turn, right? When you get like either like when you had your opponent blocking and you were like running offense and then suddenly now you're blocking or you get hit or something, or just when you get hit in general. If those never happen, you will win. Now, of course, actually making that never happen is unlikely, but you can at least try to minimize it, right? So those are good places to pause and think about it, and you might notice patterns as you go, if you do that often as well. The other thing is, so this is a weird one, right? I barely missed Miles going on break. Yeah, hello, Clunk. We did your the Bossaraga one like last week or a couple weeks ago or something. It'll be on YouTube at some point, maybe. But yeah, so the other thing I usually like to talk about is like a layer 1 approach to how to think about a matchup and where you want to stand on the screen and like what you want to take, what cadence you want to take as far as how aggressive or defensive you want to be and how much you want to mix those up, is this whole attacker-defender thing. That's a weird one, man, because these are two pretty heavily defensive characters, in the sense that, you know, you've got big buttons, you get a lot of reward off like random stray pokes in the mid screen, right? You have a lot of corner carry, both of you do a lot of damage, right? You both have good projectiles. I mean, Versuja probably better, but like Catalina's M Fireball is a reaction check. Like once it leaves her sword, it takes 20 frames to cross the entire screen. So like even then, I don't really know how like much you're gonna be zoning her out, right? So like this is a strange one for me personally. I think at the end of the day, this is gonna be like you both have very similar strengths, but at the end, like your buttons are a little bigger than hers. Your zoning is a little better than hers, right? So I think it's gonna be very important. But at the same time, like her reward when she hits you is gonna be a lot better than yours because, like we mentioned, if she gets you to the corner, you're going straight to hell, right? So I think this is a tough one to navigate, but I think it's gonna be important for you to try and stand right outside the range where, like, you know, Catalina far M is gonna miss, but like Versuja far M is gonna hit, and that range does exist, right? Your buttons at the end of the day are bigger than hers, despite how good hers are. Yeah, that M Fireball is the big problem here. If I would honestly, like, I probably wouldn't if I were you. I don't think you want to stand at full screen in this matchup, just because, like, I think this M Fireball is like gonna kick your ass. It's a non cooldown fireball you can just spam over and over, and it's so fast and it just controls so much of the screen. And like, Pillar by itself is just not gonna do that. H Pillar will work, but then you're on cooldown, right? Yeah. So this, man, here's the problem. So the answer to this, guess who didn't get his promotion? Oh no, Echo. The answer to this always has been, like, run at them. If they're just sitting there being defensive and waiting for you to whiff, it's the classic thing, right? You can play preemptive, you can play reactive, or you can play in a way that beats people playing reactively, right? So the thing here is, if she's just standing there, you have to run at her and, like, you know, take your turn back. Is that a risk? Of course. Are you taking risks because you're in the corner? Yeah. The problem is, Versuja just can't do that, man. Like, this is incredibly effective against Versuja. Yeah, trying to if she gets far away enough, sure, like trying to use your poke tools, but like she was probably standing a little too far back right there. But there is like that is you identified that you struggled with that. That's fair. I think that is literally Versuja's biggest weakness, right? So it definitely doesn't it tracks. Oh, going for the 6/6M there is a little ambitious. Just because like what happens if this hits, right? Like if that hits, you get like 1,000 damage and no Oki. I guess you got maybe like your stock, I suppose, but you already have it. And then if it doesn't, I mean, this happens to you and you die, right? That's maybe a little bit too excitable of an option there, I'd say. Okay, I like that. Your 2L is pretty good. If people are close to you, it's very good for catching shimmies and stuff. Versuja she has a very nice 2L on defense up close, right? Yeah, I like the idea. Using, I was just about to say until you did it, which is good. Use your brave points offensively in this situation, right? What can you do as Versusi though? You just have to take some sort of big stupid risk, right? Like you have to, like, 6XL is like the safer version of taking some big stupid risk that's fast and plus on block and shit. But you just have to, like, you You have to like swing out like a far H and hope for the best. You have to like jump and hope for the best. You have to, you know, throw out like an Anitya and hope for the best, right? Because you're just completely outmatched in that situation, and like the universal answer that most characters have that gets them out of someone spacing buttons against you like that just doesn't work for you. Vasaraga struggles with this too. Voss has his own ways to cheat out of it though. He can like 2-2 you or you tackle or something. Versuta has none of that, right? Her reversal also has no horizontal range on it. Ladiva struggles with this to a lesser extent because her 6XL doesn't go that far, but it's much better than Versuta's, right? But you just have to take some sort of big risk to get them to block something. Which is probably at that range, like swinging out a far H and hoping for the best. What I was going to say is, you're going to die here. You're going to die here if you don't do something now. You have to kill this Catalina right now or you lose, right? So spending your Brave points basically on cooldown is like a layer 1 here is a good idea. Spending them offensively, because one, you have a resource advantage. So if you and the Catalina, if you just go Brave counter and then you get a 6XL on her as Oki and then she Brave counters and then you Brave counter and then she Brave counters, you'll win, right? It'll end on your turn with 1 Brave point left for you, right? And the other thing too is just like, you just need a turn. You just need to hope that you can catch this Catalina off guard or something. Far H is risky, I do it in neutral all the time. Far H in the corner, when you're cornered and your opponent is standing there watching you whiff buttons, Far H is very risky, right? In neutral, sure, yeah, but like, when we're talking about the situation where you're in the corner, right? Because that's the thing that he's really struggling with, was when Catalina's doing this. Where is it? When Cat is doing this, right? This is the nightmare situation. Honestly, even from here, Far H whiffs is the problem. But here, this is actually quite well. The Catalina is standing so far away from you here. Like, if your Far H is gonna whiff, the Cat is standing so far away that she's kind of given up pressure, right? Like, in this case, like, it's actually a good idea by Laquai. Like, he's far away enough that, like genuinely, he can, like, Pillar here, he can Anitya here, and it's not even that bad, right? Like, if Cat's gonna stand this far away, you can genuinely use, like, a special to get your turn back. But if she's, like, if you move her like 1 Catalina length ahead, right? So if she stands like here, this is where things can get a little bit nasty, right? Because like you might get counter hit on the startup of your Far H and die, or you might like whiff a button and die, right? And she can adjust her spacing suddenly, like she can like backdash out and then kill you or something, and you can't adjust your spacing. This is like the fundamental reason why being in the corner is bad, is because your spacing is locked outside of approaching the opponent, which is risky, but the opponents can move up and move back, right? It's that and the fact that most characters, most damaging combos are in the corner. That's like the main reason that being in the corner is a bad thing in the first place, right? It's like fundamentally in fighting games. Yeah, H pillar. I mean, the other pillars, I mean, the light pillar is kind of slow is the thing. H pillar from that distance where the cat is standing so far away, H pillar is not a bad idea. H pillar or Anitya. Okay, so what happens here? You end up... Yeah, so I wouldn't do it, man. Like, why? You have a big, like, believe it or not, you are sort of I personally think you are sort of pretty not favored to win this round, maybe, but it's very likely because again, why would you DP here, right? Right, just like delay tech, make sure you don't get thrown, and like if you block anything, go for the 6XL or go for the BC rather, right? You have a resource advantage here. And once Catalina's out of resources, she then gets put in a very unfortunate position where, like, she's in the corner. She has no Brave points. You're Versuta. Any touch is going to kill her, right? So she gets put in like, basically a guess for game situation of, like, do you want to DP or super and die if they get blocked? Or do you want to try and hold this offense and maybe die because you have no, like, if you're not going to reversal, right, you're in a pretty bad spot, right? Versuta does have some pretty, like, she has a lot of, she has infinite plus frames. You have all your specials up. You didn't have your stock, but still, right? So, like, I would say that DPing here is unnecessary. I know you're low on health, but it's very important to keep track of the resources, right? Fighting games, especially a lot of the more modern ones that are all, like, you know, very strong universal system mechanics and stuff, they are a resource war, right? And you are winning that war right now. Health? No. Meter? No. But the most important one, you have an extra Brave point. So this DP is not necessary. You're not in such a bad spot that you need to DP, right? Realistically, you Brave counter Catalina one more time, you 6XL her, she Brave counters you, she goes for some Oki, you Brave counter her, and you're good. Obviously, Catalina can try to bait a BC or something, but that's what, you know, that's where the mind games start coming in, right? If she tries to just spot dodge, you can kill her easily, like just off punching the spot dodge. So, but that wasn't that, you know, you weren't actually in as bad of a spot as you thought you were right there, expressly because you had an extra Brave point on the Catalina. Brave, as it so happens, Brave counter is really strong, too strong. And as a result, the guy who can Brave, if someone's got a resource advantage and they can Brave counter more often, they're probably winning a lot of the time, right? Despite, like, what any other signals might tell you, right? Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a problem, right? If Cat does decide to suddenly go aggressive or something, you try to swing out a button, she kills you. But again, this is the nightmare situation for you. It's one of the things that makes Lucilius super hard for you as well. Though Lucilius is even worse, I think. Oh, interesting. Good spot dodge. What the? Good. Well done. Avoiding the chip there. DP kills you here. Yeah, that's a tough situation, right? Because DP kills you, so you kind of you're guessing for game again. Like you kind of have to spot dodge there because the DP is a guaranteed kill if you don't. But then when you know if they don't DP, they just kill you off the spot dodge. Getting onto chip is a nightmare scenario. Unfortunately, it is very hard to like consistently win on chip. You're just you're gambling and hoping you guess correctly. Okay, good start. All right, I like what I'm seeing. AKA just you beating up Catalina and not getting beat up yourself. Always fun. See, so she just tried to do it right there. She can do this way better than you can because Cat 6XL is great, right? But yeah, this is what you do. Like, that's not the wrong option from him right there. This is what you do against someone who's just spacing you out in the corner. And you notice, like, Catalina can go way further than you can. But you're still in the corner. It's still risky, right? And you do just happen to far M right here. This is not on reaction. 6XL is 9 frames, right? But you just happen to far L, they get counter hit, and now they eat a full combo for it. But that is still a preferable alternative to having to like swing out like a far H or a special move or something. Because at least 6XL has a 9 frame startup and puts you plus on block right in your opponent's face. So like it's a if you do manage to get it out, it's easier to not get counter hits, and it's a much better situation. Like look, right? She gets her 6XL, and now she just literally. I mean, this is one of the strengths of Catalina, certainly, but she just reverses the situation on you entirely. Now you're in the corner. Notably, Brave point advantage, right? Ooh, I would have Brave counted her back right here, right? Again, resources. Do you know about the 6XH mix on Versusi? No. What do you mean? It's plus on block, right? So like resources, right? You have an extra Brave point on her. She Brave counters the Brave counter, do it right back to her, man. Like, this is like either she has to give up, she has to bow down and say, you know what, you've got more health, you have more resources than I do, I'm just gonna let you be +6 on block and take your turn back here, in which case, amazing, it's your turn and you're out of the corner against Catalina, mission accomplished. Alternatively, if she goes for it again, even if it knocks you down, you still have another Brave point, right? If you can get a Brave, if you get a BC, she is now, again, shit out of luck outside of trying for some big reversal or something, right? So I think one of the really big things is you have to keep an eye on your resources, and when you have a resource advantage in this game, it is not a minor thing at all. It's huge. Right? It's very important to know, like, oh, like, you know, I'm a BC up, right? We all talk about how strong BC all the time, sure. And like, while it's fun to meme about it, you then have to, but you have to go one layer deeper and be like, okay, what does this mean? Right? If BC is so goddamn strong, that means if one guy can BC 3 times and the other guy can only BC twice, that's a problem for the other guy, right? It's a really significant problem. Ooh, careful doing this, by the way. This is punishable. People don't do this for some. People just like, I don't know, maybe Versusi's. I mean, were you punishable here? You spaced it out pretty well. You probably know this is punishable. Maybe you. I think your ass might be in throw range. I don't know. It's hard to say. This is -4 though, right? Normally in the mid screen, it's fine, but in the corner, there's not enough pushback. RH follow up can be crossed over with 6XH, and you get behind them as they get up. Oh, interesting. I mean, I guess that would, if someone, you should be holding the guard button at all times, but that'll be interesting, certainly. That's a funny little idea, anyway. But yeah, be careful far H-Hing in the corner, right? You are very throwable, certainly. What the fuck? Okay, sure. Yeah, you 2H'd him. Why not? I mean, again, maybe not 2H. I think you were trying to far H and you just happened to be crouching. But like, yeah, like in this scenario, I think you've actually, like, I think you've stumbled upon kind of what you have to do in this matchup when Cat puts you in the corner pretty well. It's not good, right? You don't like doing it, but you can't, the alternative is sit there and eventually just guess wrong on her offense and die, right? You do have to just, assuming the Cat looks like they're committing to playing this big defensive playstyle, you kind of do just have to take some big risks, swing out some huge button, and hope that you get them to block it, and then try to take your turn from there, right? This will be a situation, I think, that's worth using stock if you have it too. Like, if you're on defense and you use stock, if you can get them to block a far H and then like do an Anitya off the far H and do the stock follow-up off the Anitya, I think that's the one where you stomp down your plus on block, right? That, like, in this case, like, being in the corner against Catalina is such a horrible situation for you that, unironically, like, spending your stock to get plus and get out of the corner is a huge, huge thing, right? Assuming you have it, of course. In a situation like this, you don't. And I like it. Listen, you haven't you haven't jumped out of the corner the whole time, right? You haven't jumped out of the corner the whole set. I don't think that was bad necessarily, but you're in a horrible spot, right? You're in a horrible, like, this is, I always say I really like Versuja's design because she is a character with like very obvious weaknesses, but also she's really strong, right? Like she can do this to you, right? We always make fun of how busted Catalina is for getting all the corner carry and shit. Versuja does it about as well and gets more damage off it a lot of the time too. She does insane damage. She's got good buttons. She's got good zoning, right? She's got a lot of plus frames. She's got really big normals for like even for the exact same way that Catalina can space people out in the corner, but she like just has these like gigantic weaknesses on defense, and it makes me feel like she feels very interactive to fight, right? Now, character theory design aside, unfortunately, this is you getting your gigantic weakness on defense exploited, right? So you do just have to do something silly. I think it's well, we'll talk about it at the end, I suppose. Once I think we're on the we have a couple minutes left to go here. Bro, my computer locked me out of Twitch. What does that even mean? It can do that? You got Vanguard anti-cheat on there, bro? They got kernel access to your shit. Okay. Oh, baby, sure. I think one of the big things too is I wouldn't. I feel like having a turn is very important in this matchup because of how bad it can be if Catalina takes her turn on you, right? So like with that in mind, I'm not sure, like you kind of have some initiative right here after they block the Inita, you do all of this, right? I'm not so sure. I wonder if it's even worth, it's a hard one, right? So in a lot of cases, you'll see, at least I know this is the thing that happens with Vasaragas, for example, too, where like sometimes you have a turn right now, you have Prio on Catalina, you have her on the ground, you have like the upper hand. Giving up the Oki to get the stock, I wonder if that's worth it. Yes, generally, as Versuja, having that stock is super important, but Catalina can so easily, if she gets one turn on you, completely just lock you out for the rest of the match, that I think you need to be more precious about holding on to your offense. Right? Like, I wonder if the correct answer here, instead of stocking up after you knock her down here, which is you got the knockdown, that's good, right? I wonder if the correct answer is to instead just like run up on her and start running more offense. Like run up in like meaty 5L or like meaty 5H or something like that and try to bait a Brave counter or something, right? Like keep your turn going against the Catalina. Because I think one of the questions you asked here is like, how can I escape the corner versus this patient playstyle? And I've been harping on it the whole time. But the answer, the haha funny, is that you don't, right? It's horrible. If you run that situation, if the Catalina is playing properly and you are playing properly, if you run that situation where you're in the corner and the Catalina is spacing you out and being very patient, trying to whiff punish, trying to counter hit, you are going to like die there 4 times out of 5 or something, right? So what you should think about instead, in a lot of times, instead of being like, how do I turn this like horribly disadvantageous situation into like a better one, and like making the most of a bad situation is important, right? So like for example, it's good to realize when you're just fucked, so like all the rules go out the window. Oh, like play safe, don't take risks, whatever. No, I'm fucked here, I'm gonna die. If I don't do something, I'm gonna die and I'm fucked, right? So instead, we're gonna take risks. I'm gonna swing out far H, I'm gonna throw out a Nitya, right? Because at least then it's high risk, high reward instead of high risk, no reward, right? So that's good. That's a bad matchup for Suja? No, I would think so. I would think it's quite bad, yeah. So because you're in that situation, you throw out the book of like, oh, play my safe, delay tech based, find my gap. No, you're fucked. So you just do something crazy because at least then, right, it's high risk, high reward instead of high risk, no reward. Instead of like slow guaranteed death, it's like you'll probably die, but if you hit them, you get a far H starter and you can turn the round around, right? You can steal back some of those rounds. That's one thing. Realistically though, the thing that is going to consistently win you this kind of matchup more often, instead of being like, how can I take this horrible situation and make it good for me? What you have to do is, how can I avoid the situation in the first place? The question you should be asking here is, how can I avoid the corner versus this patient playstyle, right? How can I make it so Catalina gets me in the corner as little as possible? Because unfortunately, once she gets you there, it's game over. For like, this is your character. It has one gigantic glaring weakness, and Catalina is one of the characters that takes advantage of it better than almost anyone else. And it's that your 6XL goes fucking nowhere, right? Doesn't sound like much, but think about how you would necessarily get out of that corner situation. That's like that is the worst thing about Versuja, is that her 6XL doesn't go anywhere when she just hits immediate dash button and late, right? So all of this to say, and it's kind of a long tangent, but all of this to say, the way that you keep Catalina from ever getting into the corner, at least you minimize the occurrences of you getting put in the corner, is don't do this. You got your knockdown, you got lucky they smacked into it, you whiff punish them with the Anitia, you get the knockdown, great. Don't go for stock here. Keep your turn going, right? Yes, stock is ideal, but now you're kind of back in like neutral, and you're also in this like, I mean, you have a little bit of priority here. Like you are a little bit plus still, I think. You're like +3 or something. But you're also in this like up close neutral where Catalina's better than you are, right? This is not your ideal space. It's like real far back where like, again, your far M will hit and her far M will whiff, sure. Or like maybe even full screen, but honestly, I'm still not super convinced your zoning beats for M Fireball by itself, right? But maybe, right? So don't do this. I would have instead gone for some sort of either if you don't want to run up, if you don't want to run up close pressure on the Catalina, what you would do here is like backdash twice and get the full screen, right? Backdash twice, get the full screen, run your zoning offense if you feel more comfortable in that, right? Or run up to her and get like Oki, get like a 6XL, get a close L, get a close H, something like that, right? Put yourself in a situation that's advantageous instead of this is investing in the future, but you're, you know, you got cancer, man. I'm sorry, it's terminal. It's stage 4, right? You have no future. You have to kill Catalina now. You got your chance. You have to kill her now, or you're probably gonna lose. Now you might not lose this round, right? I mean, spoiler alert, this happens, so you're probably not gonna win this round. I do know that, but you have no future in this matchup, right? Planning for the future is a luxury afforded to those in good matchups. If you get lucky and you get the chance, kill her immediately, right? My beautiful save jabs, their manipulative pressure, my peak reward risk, their vicious abare. Yeah. So all of that to say that don't necessarily always prioritize stock over keeping your turn, right? Sure. Is she dead here? I think maybe she could. You can't get like close H with Versuja because her thing is too slow, I think, right? Even on counter hit. She's almost dead here. It's like this, again, your character is real good. She hits like a fucking truck, right? You just have to avoid your situation where you're weak. Oh boy. What happened here? Yeah, I mean, I think you panicked a little here, right? You're in a good spot, right? I mean, it is a huge button. I'll maybe poke with a bigger button, you know? Because it's not even, it's not even that close to hitting, to be completely real with you. Right? Like yes, it's kind of close. But like, okay, there, sure. The first one, understandable, in case she looks like she's running into you, right? Once she stops, I don't know, man. I mean, so here's another thing, right? This is, again, where, think about, I believe close H counter hit and the close H on Versuja does actually work. Holy, I guess it's because she has so much hit stun on the thing, right? Interesting. So you could have killed her there. I think you didn't get the close H, right? But in this case, think about it, right? So yes, the corner is great, and you're trying to maintain the corner right here by like doing all these 5Ls. However, have you considered that you have 95% health and 3 brave points, and they have 5% health and 2 brave points? If I'm you, the safest, most consistent way you close this round out probably is screen space is another resource that you are very rich in right now, right? Catalina is in the corner and she's trying to scrap viciously. Have you considered, when you do this, instead of even close H combos could leave them crouching on counter hit? Oh, okay. It causes like nuclear damage. Yeah. Have you considered that instead of doing this again, maybe instead of getting stock again, right? But maybe you're still pretty plus after this, right? Like, yeah, you're acting first there. Have you considered trying to like hit her meaty with some special, like you did? It didn't work. She crouched it. Cool. But then just like backdashing a bunch of times until your fireballs are back off cooldown. Spend your screen space, and the Catalina needs to approach at this point, right? Now, we can talk all we want about who's the aggressor, who's the defender. Catalina's a very strong defensive character. Cool. All of those depend on round start conditions. Do you know who's the aggressor in any matchup when one guy has 95% HP and one guy has 5% HP? Almost any matchup, right? Maybe not like Fairy Ladiva or something, but Ladiva, like, those are the two extremes of the game, right? But like, in the case where one guy has 95% health and the other guy has 5% health, the guy on no health is the one who has to approach almost all of the time, right?
Very good odds that this person is incredibly smart.
Mordian, and thank you very much for the prime. 2 months, nice. I would recommend, in this case, honestly, just backdash a bunch of times. She's, especially like once you see that this Catalina is trying to fight, like she's trying to run out, backdash a bunch, wait for your cooldowns to come back up, threaten chip. They have to either like sit there and try start. You can like bait out some spot dodges and punish those, or you know you actually block the fireballs and they're on chip, and at that point this match is like damn near unwinnable this round, right? Or they start playing this like super aggressive to try and run into you and catch up to you so you can't get the zoning, and then you can hit them on the way in, right? You have the advantage in every single part of the game right now. Health advantage, brave point advantage, screen space advantage. I mention it sometimes offhand when I'm playing, but like, especially on Eustace, I've done it a lot more, and even like, you know, on like Geef and stuff, sometimes even in Street Fighter. But I'll say like, I'm gonna pay some of the screen space I have right now to be able to like walk back and like hit them on the way in. Like I say like, I'm paying in screen space, right? Because walking back in, I'm gonna repeat this, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself a lot. Walking back in fighting games is overpowered. It's so strong that the universal, every game in the genre limits how much you can do it, right? Every game in the genre limits how much you can walk back by putting a corner at the other side of the screen. Because walking back is overpowered. You have all of the control of the situation. If someone is walking forward and someone is walking back, you're blocking by default. They're not blocking by default. They are getting closer to you, so they are taking on risk. You are going further away from them, so you are taking away all the risk. And again, if they hit a random button, you'll block it. And right, you can suddenly decide to walk up at them and hit them, and they're not blocking. Right. I feel like run-up is so good that running up low against the person is getting away from your pokes throws range. I mean, if she's gonna commit to a run-up 6-6M, right? If he's gonna commit to a run-up 6-6M in this situation, that's a big risk, right? She could, certainly. But my point is, view your screen space as a resource and figure out, like, the safest... You could have won this round by poking away. You could have gotten her. Like, you could have gotten her, you could have counter-hit her, she would have died. But it turns out that that's not what happens, right? If you had... The safest way for you to win right there is just, you are... How do I best describe this? You are so ahead, you can play very oppressively, right? Like, because like, you can just, like, brute force them with money. You can brute force them with just how much health and how many brave points and how much screen space you have, right? Now, suddenly, right, you're actually in a pretty bad spot. And again, this is one of those other things, it's the same thing we were talking about earlier, where like, value your turns like your life against Catalina, because she can really just turn things around on you so easily because of how directly she exploits your character's biggest weakness, right? So value your turns like gold. The best way to hold on to this turn, right? Run away from her ass. Run away from her ass and threaten chip. Yeah, you're a character with like full screen projectiles that can do chip, right? Exactly what Luca's saying. Instead, you take a... To be fair, that is still, like, that whole interaction is still pretty weighted in your favor, but like, why go for the 70-30 when you can go for the 95-5? You know? Why not do the thing that is most likely to win you the match? And now you end up in the corner, and this is super losable for you, actually. Like, I don't know if you win this or not. You could totally lose this. You have a brave point advantage? Okay, you don't. But like, that was super losable, suddenly. Or like, if you play like super annoying and lame and just run away from them, that's a very hard round to lose, right? Sure. I've had embarrassing amounts of luck just throwing us versus 623M people twice in a row. People don't expect the dumb second one yet. What happened? How do you get to this corner so quick? I thought you didn't get hit, did you? Oh, you kind of did. Okay. Yeah, you got hit. Okay. Sure. I was gonna say, like, don't walk back too much against Catalina, but no, that's not what you did. That's not what you did. You have to hold. But I guess quick thing. You do again by the virtue of like, I have to spend the least amount of time in the corner as possible in this matchup, right? You definitely, you didn't do it there, but just make sure that you're not like, you have to hold your space and not walk back way too much, right? Because otherwise you will inevitably, like, you're just gonna end up back to the wall, and that's your lose condition. In general, in Gran Blue, but like in fighting games, really, but especially in this matchup. Because like, sometimes he's trying to force his way in. Sometimes he can just play lame. The problem is, I'm not so certain how well he can play lame against Catalina on the neutral. It's a tough spacing to hold, right? It's a tough spacing to hold. But definitely, like, there's a little bit too much, like, I will say, you've done like light lariat and medium lariat a bunch. Those in particular, I'm not so sure how much I like them, right? Nitya missed right there. You have projectile advantage? Do you? That's what I'm genuinely wondering. Do you? I mean, H pillar, sure. That's a cooldown. I'm pretty sure Catalina's M fireball is better than Versucha's entire zoning kit. No? Like, do you? I don't think you do. You have normals advantage. Your normals are a little bigger than hers. There is like a spacing on the screen. Most of the time you do? Maybe. I'm not so sure I'm convinced, personally. Catalina's M fireball is a better zoning option than 95%, like all of Versucha's fireballs put together, I think. except H pillar, but you know, H pillar of course is a cooldown. So when you throw it out once, you can't throw it out anymore. Howdy y'all, we replay review, indeed, hello Con. Pretty sure 623X kills Cat's M Fireball. I'm pretty sure she recovers first in that case, no? Or am I messaging correctly? I meant that walkback is so strong that opponents getting out of your effective range that run-up blow is a valid way of opening up defensive opponents in those ranges. Oh, so true. L pillar might kill the Fireball? Dude, I don't think L pillar is fast enough. Right? Like, if you do it on a reaction, it's not gonna work. Right? Again, when Catalina's M Fireball leaves her sword, it takes 20 frames to cross full screen distance. It goes from literally one side of the screen to the other in like 19 frames or something. I counted it once, right? It's a reaction check. L pillar is, you have to do it preemptively. It's M Fireball is so, they gave her a gun. I didn't even know it was 20 frames. That's crazy. It's a reaction check, man. Obviously there's startup to the Fireball, but I'm saying once she actually shoots it, once the startup of like her kind of holding her sword back and then shooting it is done, because the whole thing is like probably like 36, because it's like 16 frames of startup and then like 20 frames of travel time. But yes, once she actually shoots it out, it's 20 frames from one side of the screen to the other. They gave her a gun. It's like a hit scan projectile. The Fireball takes a third of a second to get to cross the screen, right? That's like the big reason I'm like, does Versuja even have projectile advantage here, right? Because like you can't do 623M maybe on reaction, maybe, but that's tough. H pillar is like your, is that the 2B projectile? Fair enough. That's fair. Yeah, her little laser. Big thing is Catalina's doesn't cost any skill gauge. She just fucking does it. Over and over and over and over again. Sure. A little too much Brave counterbaiting, I think, also. It's RPS, and she has a Brave point advantage there, so she should be Brave countering, but... Nice spot dodge, okay. Good conversion. Oh, baby. A little too far out, I guess. Yeah, this is a tough spot for you. I'm not entirely sure what you're meant to do here. Good roll for the Fireball. Okay, yeah. Far M not quite reaching. I like you holding your space with Far M. He messes up the Fireball, this is huge. The problem... Yeah, the only thing is... So this... I understand in this situation, I get why you did it, because you're scared, right? But, again, on the topic of... Our #1 priority is not getting into the corner, right? I think this is a little too much walking back from you. You kind of end up walking yourself into the corner here. Not that much, but like a little bit too much, right? This like a regular amount of walking back, possibly. But again, in this matchup, don't do it, right? Like it is so... You have so much less agency in this matchup as soon as Cat has you in the corner, right? Okay, let's talk about it. Let's answer your 3 questions from the beginning, right? How do I beat this Catalina operator, right? He's real good, man, but I will say, right, again, as Versuja, I think me personally, I could argue, like Luca's saying you can go full screen and then you have projectile advantage. Sure, maybe. I think as Versuja, realistically, you do have bigger buttons than Catalina. Your 2M is bigger than her 2M. Your Far M is bigger than any of her buttons that aren't like Far H, right? Like there is a... I'm pulling out the Microsoft Paint again, man. I gotta, because this is always like, it's always hard to explain, like, verbally, right? So, there is, if this, hold on. If this is one corner, and this is the other corner, and this is the whole screen, right? There's like, so like, if Catalina's buttons, right? Like, if she's standing here, right? If her buttons reach so you guys can see my mouse, right? So like, if she's standing here, right? Then her buttons max reach, like her safe buttons to poke in neutral with, is like here, right? So like there is a point though. It's not a very, so like if you're standing in this range, her buttons are faster than yours, and that's bad for you. That's actually not good. Like you're in a disadvantage in the footsies here, right? But your buttons are like 15% bigger than hers, just barely. She's got really good ones, but you have some of the biggest. Like Versuja Far M is like one of the biggest mediums in the whole game. It might be the biggest medium in the entire game. I can't remember exactly, right? But so you can stand like here, right? You can stand like here, and then you just have to hold this spacing, right? Where your Far M can hit her, but her Far M can't hit you. And this is, I think, where you like, this is your thriving spot, I think, in this matchup, right? Here is like okay, but it's kind of bad for you. Maybe full screen is good, right? But I honestly, I don't You can't lose to mids and throws? Yeah, listen, as funny as the Lord Knight clip is, unfortunately, if you couldn't lose to mids and throws, then nobody could ever win in Gran Blue. Mids and throws are surprisingly effective in this video game. But, like, maybe here's good for you? I'm not so convinced with how M Fireball works, right? What are y'all talking about? Talking about the spacing Versuja needs to stand in to try and fight Catalina, right? So you'll notice, if like this space here is like mildly disadvantageous for you, and this space here is like mildly disadvantageous for you, and if you ever get put in the corner, you like it's like 80-20, right? And the only space you want to hold is like this big. That's what we call a bad matchup right there, right? This is a big reason why I think this matchup is not very good for you. But I do think this, like, you really want to hold that space and kind of weave in and out of that space where your far M is effective and hers isn't, right? And you can even every now and then try and like sneak in some like far H as like a 6XL or something like that, right? What I'm saying is he's too scared of playing defense when Cat doesn't have that scary of an offense if you're patient. I disagree entirely. If Cat is standing, like, if the problem here is that Versuja literally has no valid defensive option when she's in the corner and Catalina has her in the corner, right? Because your 6XL doesn't go anywhere and you have no safe way to poke out of the corner, and Catalina has some of the best buttons in the game. There's no defense here for Versuja. It's Brave counter or die. So I think that you just don't get in the corner, right? Like, getting into the corner in this matchup is a lose condition. We'll talk about that in a second, though. 5L crushes lights. Yeah, she's not hitting lights, Doug. Is 6XL a good defensive option? Yes. So, okay, let me explain. I think some people just joined. So this situation right here, right, is the big, and this is his third question, right? How can I escape the corner versus this patient playstyle, right? So let's talk about this. Where is it exactly? I think it's like right, wait, is it right here? I forget, maybe it was earlier? Yeah, this situation, right? Right when she does this. Yeah, see? 2M's not reaching. This situation is a classic that a lot of characters in Gran Blue with good normals run their corner offense this way. They don't necessarily run up to your face and mix you, or not mix you, just like run RPS on your ass, right? Instead, they'll like try and space themselves out and like whiff punish you. They'll walk up a bit and then walk back and try to whiff punish you for doing your stuff. Because, you know, in the corner, again, when you have your opponent in the corner, you're playing footsies on easy mode. Because you can adjust your spacing and they can't adjust theirs, right? The answer, one of the sort of default answers to this kind of pressure is to run out of the corner and 6XL your opponent, right? Because at that point, if they're playing too defensively, too patiently, 6XL is an unreactable 9-frame option that's plus on block, and if you get them to block it, you can start your turn and potentially like get your way out of the corner, right? Is that a risk? You're saying could they just check your 6XL? Absolutely, but you're in the corner, dog. What do you expect, right? Like, you have to take risks because you got to the lose condition. If you want to escape the lose condition, you're gonna die, right? So the problem is that Versuja's 6XL doesn't work this way. Because if you hit the immediate immediate dash into immediate L on Versuja, she goes from like here to like here. She just doesn't move. This is, in my opinion, the single biggest weakness of the character, right? Is that this like universal offensive situation that everyone has a system mechanic that's designed to kind of get them out of it, she like doesn't really. So the nightmare scenario here is exactly this, right? And her DP also has horrible horizontal range, like that's not really gonna help you. At this spacing, funny enough, the cat is standing actually so far away that Laquai ends up like throwing on a Nitya here or something and it works, right? Which like unironically is what you probably should do at that spacing. But like, you know, this is also very, like you could very easily also just die for that, right? If the cat suddenly went offensive and like your 30-frame startup fireball, then you just get smacked out of it or something, right? But again, so the point of this being, how do I beat this Catalina operator is understand your lose conditions and avoid them like the plague. Understand your win conditions, and they're not that numerous, right? But they exist. And again, stick to them like glue, right? And I think your win condition here is your better normals, right? You have better, bigger normals, not by a lot. It'd be a lot nicer if you had way bigger normals, but you don't. So your win condition is find the spacing where you can poke at her and she can poke at you and play around that mercilessly. And then and that's like, you never do one thing over and over because you get predictable, right? So if you just stand at this spacing the whole time, you get predictable. You can like mix in some offense, but your primary neutral goal should be to stick at this spacing, right? Every now and then you can backdash and try to zone. Every now and then you can run at them and go offensive suddenly. But like sticking at this spacing, like this spacing right here, basically, should be your primary sort of objective, right? How should I approach a defensive reactive opponent? I'm gonna be honest. I'm not entirely certain this Catalina fits that bill that much. But we talked about this previously. If someone is playing like hyper reactively, what you do, so first off, you can use unreactable options, but those are, you know, the safe one in the game is 6XL, and Versuja doesn't have that, right? You have your lariats and stuff, but like either they end your turn or they're straight up punishable on block, or like you need to consume a stock, keep yourself safe or whatever, right? But realistically, the more consistent way, besides just like do something unreactable and hope that it hits them, is use the reactions against them. We've talked about this before, right? Where if someone is like, every single time you do like, they're immediately doing whatever the perfect answer, like you jump. Every time you jump, they're like 2Hing frame like 10 or something. You're like, what the fuck is happening? What you do instead is suddenly you just like neutral jump and they 2H and they whiff it or something. And you're not gonna get a punish off that, right? Or you space out a jump, right? You space out a jump and empty jump so your hurt box doesn't extend. So like their 2H whiffs, right? That's not gonna, maybe you won't get a punish off that, but it'll make them, it'll add an extra layer of processing to their mental stack, which can slow down their reactions by like 3-4 frames, which might be the difference between getting anti-air and not. If they have like some anti-projectile move, right? This is the it's like the Street Fighter classic, right? The you know, this is the 1987 right here, right? If they have some really good anti-projectile move, and you are like throwing your fireballs, and every time you throw your fireball, they like do the move and kill you. What you do now is you start 5Ling at full screen, right? If they're really good at reacting, and like anytime they see any movement, they go, they need to start representing that you sometimes just like doing 5L at full screen. They do their anti-projectile move, and you block it, you kill them, right? This is the way to beat people who are really good at reacting to things, is use their good reactions against them, essentially, right? And again, sometimes it just nabs you full punishes. Sometimes, and more consistently, what it'll do again is make them second guess things. Now they know that not every piece of movement is a fireball. It could be a 5L, it could be whatever, right? They'll have to sit there for a little bit more. And again, that little delay could be the difference between getting the proper answer or dying, right? And then again, how can I escape the corner versus patient playstyle? We talked about this. I'm just going to repeat this one last time. The answer here is you don't. Yes, you can. Okay, there's a two-part answer. The answer here is this is a horrible situation for you. This is, you know, who does this? Who does this to you better than Catalina? Like maybe Lucilius, right? But realistically, one, it's important. There's for example, I'll give you an example that's all been popping up in my head the whole time, right? I was gonna say it's important to recognize sometimes when you are just outmatched kit-wise and stop trying to play fair, right? What's an example of this? I did some labbing a couple months ago now against, is there a video on defensive reactive opponents that you made? Yeah, I think it came out, it's an old one from November or something, but I think it came out on the channel like a couple days ago or something. It's like how to beat reactive players or something, right? But I'll give you an example. I was doing some labbing against Cagliostro as Ladiva, right? And as you might know, Cagliostro in the corner can do some very nasty like spaced pressure with far H and stuff, right? And you can go like far H into spike or far H into traps. The traps are fake, you can match on them. She's minus 33 if she goes far H into traps, but the spike will frame trap you, right? So it's like, and like Ladiva does not have like the safe buttons to contest Cag far H. They just don't exist, right? So when I started actually having a lot better of a time in the Cag matchup, and when like I started seeing a lot more success, is when I was like, I discovered, right, that you can just hard read if she does far H and goes into either spike or trap, Ladiva can U lariat and it'll punish either of them. Now, am I doing U lariat out of the corner against a Cag who is not committed to anything? Yes. If she spot dodges, do I lose like 10,000 health because she gets her optimal starter in the corner? Yes. But that is a situation where I am like, their kits matches up into my kits so well that if I just sit there and I try to go, all right, let's do the safe, correct play here to get out of the corner, I'm just gonna die. Eventually the RPS risk reward weighted in their favor is gonna get to me and I'm gonna go to hell, right? So instead, when you get to your lose conditions, you have to try and, you know, it's a game of probability in the end of the day. It's a game of, you know, consistently try like over a number, being like, you know, winning one really tough set against a good player doesn't make you good. Winning consistently against top players makes you good. And, you know, the most consistent way that I currently have in my mind when you get into like a really bad lose condition is try to cheat your way out of it, man. Like if like trying to cheat your way out of it is gonna kill you 60% of the time, that's fine. Because not trying to cheat your way out of it is gonna kill you 80% of the time, right? So I'll take that. I'll fucking take those odds, right? In your case, this is, again, you don't have U lariat, but you fucking could. For example, you actually could do like your U thing and hope it's safe on block at least, right? Unlike mine, you can't spot dodge it either. It's not invincible or anything, but you could try. But like sticking out, you know, big ass buttons that are very hard to make whiff, right? Like your far H and shit like that. and just hope she blocks it and doesn't counter hit you. And then if you get her to block it, you can go into plus frames, you can go into Anitya, you can go into pillar, you can go to something, right? If you have your stock up, you can go into like Anitya, into the stomp to be plus on block and get out of the corner and have your turn going now. Or alternatively, if she's so far away from you, this is good from you. If she's so far away, yeah, throw a fucking Anitya at her. Is there a chance she just kills you for it? Yes. But will you just die if you do nothing anyway? Also yes, right? If the CAG thinks Eulite is coming and dodges, you can play around that easier than the far edge corner pressure. Yeah, like playing like a madman there actually makes the RPS more favorable for me, certainly, right? Because I gave up on trying to find a good answer, and I just found the answer that works sometimes. The best answer. It's not good, but it's the best answer. But realistically, the thing I want to reiterate for the last time is this is the wrong question, right? This is the wrong question. The real question to ask is how can I avoid the corner versus the Spatian playstyle? How can I avoid the corner in this matchup? Not how can I get out of it, right? And we've talked about that a lot. Hold on to your turns like they're made of gold as Versusia, because giving one turn to Catalina can so easily just completely turn the match around, right? If you get a knockdown and like maybe you could kill her in one or two more interactions, maybe don't go to get your 5U back. Go for the Oki instead. Don't give up the Oki for an investment in the future, because you got no future, man, right? Like you're going straight to hell if you don't kill her immediately, etc., right? So that is just about gonna do it, I think. That was a long time, man. We talked about this 10-minute replay for 48 minutes. I'm back in top form. I used to do 2 of these a video, but apparently I've forgotten how to be somewhat expedient here. But I hope this was useful. We're only 14 replay reviews away from actually being caught up. Yeah, I noticed that. That's why I'm like a little bit more okay with taking a little bit longer on this one, because there's a lot of very interesting things to talk about here that are not just applicable to Versusia Catalina, but sort of to the game as a whole. We talked about resources as well, right? Like, resource advantages are not nothing in this game. It was the first round here somewhere. I think was it this? Yeah, was it this? Oh yeah, sure. This is an example. This wasn't one that I was thinking of, but this is an example, right? You did win this anyway. But like, yeah, man. If Catalina's trying to like big dick you here and like brave counter or brave counter, she can't do this, right? She literally this is like a those who know. Like, she can't do this. You brave counter her back, and then if she blocks it, if she gets hit by it, it's your turn. If she blocks it, she can either choose, do I brave counter again and go to 0 brave points, and like inevitably you still have another one, so you'll be on 0 brave points and it'll still be your turn. She just hopes it hits you, right? Or do I just like hold the L and let Versusia be +6 on block and get out of the corner, right? Like, when you have a resource advantage, be really fucking mean about it, right? Use it aggressively, especially when you only need one more interaction to kill the person, right? You have a brave point advantage. Use it, right? You have a screen space advantage. We talked about over here, right? You have, where is it? It's when she's like almost dead to ship. It's like in game. Yeah, right? You have a screen space advantage. Use it. Spend your screen space to increase your chances of victory, right? Understand the advantages you have. BCing Catalina is a bad idea with 5U. I mean, not when she's BCing you, right? She can't 5U out of her BC, right? And also, so that only out of cancelable buttons, right? Like the other time that she like where to go here? Like there was earlier. She like 6XLs into him, I think, is what happens, right? Where is this? You have a resource advantage here at some point, don't you? I could have sworn. Oh, you don't have an advantage here, but still. So similar idea here, right? You don't have an advantage here, but in this case, it's like it's even, and you need to kill her. Guess what? Catalina can't 5U out of 6XL, right? Dash L, one of the key weaknesses of 6XL, as good as it is, and this is why system mechanics all fit into each other, like, very importantly, and that's why I'm, like, always so weary to change anything, because Dash L is really fucking good. Do you know the biggest weakness of Dash L? It's non-cancelable. So 6XLs are free brave counters if you want them. Cat can do nothing to bait your 6XL, or your BC right now, right? Brave counter is the thing that keeps 6XL in check, kind of, right? So that's kind of another reason why, yes, brave counter is too strong and it should not hard knock down on counter hits. But I'm like very against the idea of making brave counter like really bad or something, right? Like nerfing it like 6 different ways, like I've seen people suggest, because it is sort of the natural predator that makes 6XL not just the button you spam and win sometimes, right? But point being, here is a similar idea. Use your resources when you have to kill her now. You have to kill her now. You lose this round, right? Because you don't kill her now. You have to kill her right now. If I'm you, I see that 6XL, I brave counter her and I just hope for the best, right? I brave counter her. Technically, you're at a disadvantage here, but brave counter and just like try to kill her off that 6XL. Do something, because otherwise, if you do nothing, you know. Okay. Here's where it was, right? I forgot about this. Yeah, I remember you having an advantage here. Yeah, this is egregious, right? Me personally, anyway. Because Catalina does this, sure, because you put her in plus frames. That was good. Like, you got that, you won that interaction. You got her brave point out of her. That's a huge win for you. There is no reason to be doing this, right? There's no reason for you to do this. Because guess what? Again, we're back in the same scenario here, where you now have a brave point advantage, right? Why DP here? If you brave counter Catalina here, if she like 6 excels at you again, which she could, right? Or even if she does anything non-cancelable, like an auto combo ender or something like that, right? I guess auto combo ender is not non-cancelable, you know what I mean? Like if she does something non-cancelable, or you just have a read, which again, you know, yes, if your brave counter gets baited and she 5-views you, you're gonna die. But guess what? If you do nothing, you're gonna die 100% of the time, actually. But if you brave counter her, and then you run some Oki, and then she gets up and she brave counters you, well then she's at a brave point, so you have one more. We're back to the same scenario from earlier where you have an advantage, right? Alternatively, if she's like, I can't do that because I'm gonna run out of resources, if she's aware of this, then she might have to commit to like, one, either like just letting you run a turn of offense on her, which makes your chances of hitting her and killing her quite high, or Hail Marying on a reversal, and if you block her reversal, she dies, right? Now again, I'm not saying is that like 100% win rates? No, but this is not what wins you this round, right? Very good point by Exelion made too. They're like, if this DP hits, you don't even win, right? So I think this is more. You are very much like, this is great. You got that offer. That's great. Now you need to realize you just earned yourself a resource advantage and use it correctly, right? And using it correctly here is brute forcing the Catalina out with brave counters and being like, you know, if she's a knower, then she'll be like, fuck, I'm at a resources advantage. I have to do something. I have to like conserve. I have to get a turn back without using a resource. And the only ways to do that are either just outplaying you on your turn, which is dangerous because she's in the corner, so she's at a disadvantage, and it's more likely she'll lose and get hit, right? Or she has to spend a reversal to get her turn back without spending a brave point. Both of those are very risky. Or she can brave counter you, right? And then it just loops back into the same situation. It goes from 2 to 1 to 1 to 0, right? So, resources. Keep an eye on your resources. And honestly, your health is important, certainly, but your brave points and your screen space are honestly more important resources. Me personally, right? At the end of the day, you are just as effective on 5 health as you are on 16,000 health. You are not as effective on 0 brave points as you are at 3, right? You simply just have fewer options on defense, and you'll get stuck sooner, right? Of course, having low health like tilts risk reward and forces you into things. So I'm not saying it's okay to be low on health, but like, again, the big thing I would say here is like, from here, I think from once this happens, I think you're in a winning position, right? Once you force this out of the Catalina, I genuinely think you're in a winning position, right? You're both dead in one hit, probably, right? Because Rasuja can convert so well off any random bullshit, and like even like 2M, and also because you have screen space advantage, which isn't just for spacing. It also means if you get like 2M into like your heavy lariats here, you get a full corner combo. So any poke kills off here, right? So you're both gonna kill each other in one hit, right? She has an advantage in that throw kills you too. You're also closer to Chip, sure. But you're both gonna die in one hit, and then you have a brave point. You're a brave point up on her. Meter doesn't matter, because you're both gonna kill each other in one hit regardless. So like, you are in a winning situation. This was great by you to like, you said, fuck it, I'm gonna mash in your plus frames. You are right, why not? You have to guess, you have to do something, or else you'll lose, right? You guessed right, you got a brave point out, you're winning now. This is not the move of someone who's winning. This is the move of someone who thinks they're about to die and they're panicking. I personally, my evaluation, you're in a winning scenario right here. So there's no need to do a panic option. Press your advantage instead, right? All right. Let's do another fucking replay. I'm gonna be here literally. We've actually been talking about this for an hour. It is. I could make like, dude, I could make like 4 different videos out of this. I don't like. What the fuck do I title this? I feel like this is. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like more awake today or something. Like this is one of. There's so many important fundamental concepts to like getting good at the video game in this video that I have no idea how I'm supposed to. We'll see. That's a me problem. That's a me problem. Still though, look why. I know you're way better at the game now than you were in November. I understand that. But hopefully, if someone else is like just these are like the kind of things that get you from that like early master level to like fighting with some of the big boys and being a little bit better about it, right? So like, if anyone else has just broken that barrier, which I know like a couple people in the community have at the very least, right? Hopefully this kind of thing is useful to them as well, even if it's no longer useful to Loquai. Loquai certainly is a lot more of a killer now than he was then, right? But yeah, that is gonna do it for this replay. Guess what we're gonna do, stream? We're gonna do another replay review right now, immediately after this. With this Lucy versus Gran. Interesting, okay, yeah. But for now, VOD watchers, hello, hi. Hope you had a good time with the video. If you did, any kind of like, subscribes, comments, bells, they all help out, all that good stuff. Give me relink or give me death. Maybe next Saturday, forgive it, next Saturday. It's listen, I want to play some relink too. I'm very addicted, but you know, moderation. We got Gran Blue Rising to do here. But yes. Like, subscribes, comments, bells. You can become a member if you have some extra income lying around and you want to support the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. No pressure, of course. I also stream. You know, come by, hang out. Link in the description down there. I also have the Discord right here if you want to post a replay. If you want to have make some friends, you know, get some matches, whatever you want to do. But most importantly, just be nice, or else you're in the head of Minecraft. Most importantly, hope you had a great time hanging out today, as always. I know I sure did. Somehow, this is a 57-minute video. Why not, man? There's a lot of good stuff in there. Having a lot of fun with Rising. Gonna be a lot more coming your way. And until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace. Substream basically became Relink Saturday.
Very good.
I mean, pretty much, because it just like Relink is my current hyperfixation, right? Until I S++0, that'll be the case. Moderation died with the Renaissance men, so true. Exalt. Hello, I'm doing well. How are you doing? I appreciate the support, and also we're doing some replay reviews, so that's always fun. The yapping never ends. The yapping never ends. All right. What is this? Gran? Lucy versus Gran. Interesting. Let's check this out. All right, folks, we are back. More Gran Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. More replay review. 13 replays away from ending the backlog here, and we have Found Sounds Lucy versus Gran set review. Content. Okay, cool. 3 game sets. I think I've been improving, but still feel like Gran puts me too far in the defense. Oh, you're the Lucilius. Or still feel like Gran puts me too far in the defensive or reactive side of my game plan. Pretty cool finish to game 2 after dropping a kill confirm, hoping to shore up my fundamentals as well as matchup specifics, working towards S++. I want to feel more authoritative in matches. Interesting. Okay, I already have an idea about this. Is a very interesting word to use, and I already have an idea for you, I think, but we'll see. So are you the Lucilius in this matchup? Let's see here. Yes, okay, cool. Let's get into this. Yeah, I mean, so it's an interesting one, right? So the big thing with replay reviews that I mentioned at the start of every single one of these, and I'm gonna keep mentioning, this gets a nice little, you know, yardstick, I guess, is if you're analyzing your own replay and you don't know where to like find points of interest or things to improve on or whatever, very simple. If you get hit, if you lose your turn, right? Those two situations probably, I mean, theoretically, if you could never have that happen, you would just win by default. But also, if you do that enough, you'll notice like, I'm getting hit in like the same way a lot, or like in a lot of the same situations. You can start to like find patterns from there. Our brains are very good at recognizing patterns, right? But yeah, so like that's a good place to start. Is like every time you get hit, pause and think about why it happened. Every time you lose your turn, pause, think about why it happened, right? Losing your turn being like, you know, you're running offense, then suddenly you're blocking or something, right? Or like you lose neutral. All right, so as far as the other thing we always say, this whole aggressor defender stuff, it's super easy with Lucy, because Lucy, if Lucy is just the best defensive character in the game. I think that's kind of, in my opinion, like if Lucy has a claim to top 1 in this game, it's because he, even against other characters that wants to like sit there and be defensive, there is no win condition in Gran Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, made by Psy Games and Arc System Works. There is no win condition in this game currently that is as strong as Blade Level 5. Funny enough, the only thing in competition is Loane eating, but it's a lot more situational, right? But there is no win condition in the game as strong as that. So if you're playing slow and patient, Lucy is just going to win by default eventually. So Lucy forces everyone in the game basically to come to him. It's kind of like Cloud's charging limits in Smash. That's how I always like to think about it. You know, he goes like, he's just sitting there, but he's gonna go fucking Genkai Koedu or whatever, and then you have to, you know, then he's a god. But like, you know, this is probably even better than Cloud's limit stuff. Anyway, sorry, little tangent. So Lucy is the defender in every matchup, and he also, just so happens, a very synergistic kit to have some of the best tools in the game to kill a motherfucker who's trying to run in on you, right? He has some of the best pokes in the game. He has some of the highest reward off those pokes, especially as his mid-screen damage has always been high, and then especially once he hits BL5, you know, his pokes lead to like 11,000 damage. So there, in every matchup you play defensively, and then against Gran, you certainly do, right? So if you feel like Gran is kind of keeping you on the defensive, that's where you win in this matchup, right? You win here by playing defensive. And when I mean playing defensive, I don't just mean, we'll talk about it probably as we go on here, but I don't just mean down backing. I mean holding the space and making Gran scared to come in, while, as Lucilius, just like spamming your specials, so like that blade level bar is slowly going up. And Gran's like, I have to get in, because if I don't get in, he gets to BL5 and he becomes literally a raid boss. And but I can't get in because he's holding his space so well, and he's like anti-airing me and shit, right? Playing defensive is not doing nothing. It's using your attacks in such a way to maximize the space between you and your opponent, whereas playing aggressive is trying to minimize that space, right? So let's see what you. So Brown Star backdash from you is pretty good. From the Gran's kind of weird, but sure. So let's see here what we got cooking. I like it. Sure. Ooh, okay. Kind of lost out on the air-to-air there. And the one thing is, when you're trying to play defensive, it can be very easy to find yourself out of screen space. You walk back too far, you're in the corner, right? That's why, again, playing defensive is not just running away. It's holding your space, not letting him run in on you, but like, you're not trying to get in, you're just trying to hold the space. You're trying to maintain the space between you. Sure. Good stuff. Like that, throwing out those kind of pokes, right? Like the far L right there. If he's, by the way, I mean, if he's gonna do a lot of fireball, right? You can Tessera on reaction basically and kill him, right? Like the other thing too, one of the big reasons Lucilius is like the best defensive character in the game is that like Tessera is just one of the best anti-zoning moves in the game for some reason, right? Like if he's just gonna be throwing these medium fireballs at you over and over, Gran's medium fireball is pretty good for fireball wars because it has the 2 hits. It has like the sword like eats fireballs and the medium fireball that shoots out after. But that little upswing means it's got a lot of startup, right? So like you can react to Gran throwing M fireball like that, Tessera him, and get a, like if he's close enough to the corner, get a full combo. Otherwise, just, you know, get some damage, get some blade level, get some prio, and buy a lot of screen space for yourself. Like if he M fireballs right now and you like M Tessera and just like, you know, hip thrust him as you reappear, you don't even necessarily want to like run on him and kill him. But now you're like all the way in the corner, and you have so much screen space to play with to just back up from him and just like spam your fireballs and like poke him on the way in and get to like blade level 5 off that alone, pretty much, right? Sure. This is I mean, that's good. I will say though, I say it's good. It worked, is what I'll say. 2-2H, Tessera is one of the best anti-zoning tools in the entire game. It is kind of trolling to throw it out of neutral, right? Yeah, like, if you just Tessera in neutral, there's an option select that beats every single option, maybe even besides you, I think. But you has the big blue flash, obviously, so it's different, right? So, there's kind of two. You can either, like, delay a 2H or like, 6XL right away. I prefer the 6XL one just because it's like, easier because you don't have to delay it, right? You just, like, 6XL as soon as you see it happen. And if you, if he does the M or L Tessera, you, like, straight up hit him and start a combo. If he does the H Tessera, he whiffs, and you're, like, +8, so you hit him and start a combo, right? So like, don't do this in neutral is one thing I'll say, right? It's a really good anti-zoning tool. It is a really bad neutral tool. For, you know, against knowers anyway. This Gran might not be a knower. There is always, if you do it a couple times, he doesn't punish. If he like doesn't know, then exploit it. Because like, if you can use Tessera as a free plus on block neutral skip, then yeah, use it. But okay, you're at BL5. Cooldown's kind of low. Honestly, this is, can I say right away, this is very good, right? I think sometimes there's like some idea of like, okay, I'm like playing defensive to get, thanks for the review, it's me. Yeah, Phantom, I know. I think sometimes there's like this idea of like, okay, I'm playing towards my win con. In Lucilius' case, I get BL5. All right, cool. I have my win con. Time to go in and play like a gorilla, right? But like, while yes, you are very strong right now, because you have the health lead here, it's, and like, because you're at BL5, which means, one, you do more damage, which means your specials do more chip, right? Because chip is a percentage of the base damage of the move, right? I actually don't know if BL5 scales chip, but I think it does. Even if that's not true, your cooldowns are like 2 seconds. So you just become a fucking chip machine right now. So I like not just running in and being like, okay, I can kill him now. Because that might work, but your highest probability chance to win here is sitting back and just like chipping him out to death, right? I ended up making it to S++ again recently, nice. Also, you have to really not let him get in on you because you have no brave points. This is a very bad spot for you now. He doesn't know, okay, he's not a knower, okay. Ooh, yeah. Okay, gotcha, that's unfortunate on the 2H right there. I think that the big thing here is like, don't, like, this should be illegal, right? Like him doing this. Of course, you're not gonna react to this, but like, you should be, from full screen especially, right? From full screen especially, there's like no safe way for him to just punish you just like throwing out some bullshit, right? Your Iblis is on cooldown, to be fair, right? Like, now it's basically not, right? Already, I'll throw out another fireball, right? You could, I mean, he could like dash up. He could, like from that time, he could like fully commit to dashing up and jumping last second and do something. But like you holding the space is the big important thing here. You have to hold the space against this guy because at this point, it's a very tough place for you to win, even before you get hit here, right? I like the 2H was unfortunate. He's kind of, you know, he made it. He spaced it out very well, right? But like once he's in your face like that, you have no brave points and he has 3. Funny enough, like this situation is actually a winning. Like this is advantage Gran. You're Lucilius. You're on Blade level 5, right? And you know you have this huge health lead, but he has 3 brave points, right? Turns out I lied. Actually, the strongest thing in this game is not BL5, it's brave counter, right? So he can brave counter 3 times, he can brave counter no times, right? So this is what you want to avoid, like the plague. Right? So he actually gives you some space back too. Here, like even here, he gives you some. He should not do that, right? He's scared, obviously. Like he should not. Yes, he's scared, but like if he backs up this way, like he's gonna die if he doesn't do something, right? He's gonna die if he doesn't do something anyway. So like he trying to do less to So that he wins when he takes a risk. But like when he gives you some space here, bro, Iblis, right? Fireball immediately, right? Fireball into Tessera into like just put him on chip, right? Him giving you space right there makes it so much more likely you win that round. But you're a little too hesitant, right? You have to recognize when you have the big lead. You have to recognize when you hold all the cards, and you have to bully people, right? One of the big things about improving, I think, is you have to understand when you can just kind of like slap your dick on someone's forehead and go from there, right? If you have a lead, you can play in ways that would not be viable if you didn't. You have to know how to push your advantage, and because you have these advantages, you have to play like you have them. You don't necessarily play the same way you would if you didn't. You can be more risky, more belligerent, right? Because if the risk goes wrong for you, it's fine, and if the risk goes wrong for your opponent, they lose. So you're playing with house money a little bit. And he is. So yeah, obviously this here is, you know, it's RPS. Sure, he jumps the fireball right as you throw it. That is unfortunate, certainly. That's a tough one. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. Wake up to you. Okay, sure. It's a little risky. It worked, but it's a little risky. Oh, dude. That's a nice. Gran's JH is a lot better than I give it credit for, I will say. It hits like really deep. Yeah, so okay, here's another thing, right? So again, normally I talk about how, like we just mentioned, Lucilius is the strongest defensive character in the game, and like he makes he's a defender in every situation. Cool. Again, I said this last video, I'll say it again here, but like that assumes even footing. That assumes round start. That assumes relatively even footing. Here, I think you need to personally, right? You'll notice again. Just like when you have a lead, you have to know how to play when you have a lead. You have to know that you can like sort of big dick your way through the game a little bit. Here, you're in a bad spot. You're not close to BL5. You're even on brave points, right? You're low on health. You have some more meter. The only thing you have going for you is your screen space. That is your advantage. That is the only thing that is in your favor right now. Is Gran's in the corner and you're not. Everything else, and the meter, I guess. Like you get a lot of reward if you do hit him. Right? You can get like an SBA and then make your brave point situation even better. Right? Those are the things in your that are going your way. When only one thing is going your way, that's called a bad round. That's like you're gonna have a hard time winning. But if you don't play towards the one thing going your way, then you have no things going your way, and you just lose by default. Right? So what I mean by this is, in this case, me personally, right? I will be looking for an opportunity here to actually go on the offensive potentially. So this Gran runs up and throws you. This is really clever by the Gran, right? So Gran here actually, like, the reason he does this is because what you should do is if Gran like 6XLs you, like some people might like default to, right? You will brave counter them, and then like you have to just hope you can kill them, right? At that point, they have a brave point, you don't. It's not a great situation for you, but like you can try to get a bait going or something. Lucy has some like brave point safe setups with like the M Iblis, right? Do something. So it's actually very smart by the Gran here to run up, stop, and throw you in case you were trying to brave counter, right? You both actually tried to throw, but the fact he did it so quickly, it means he was trying to do it as well, even though you did it first. But again, if I'm you, I'm looking for a spot here to keep this Gran in the corner, potentially find a spot to brave counter, and go from there, right? Because the one thing we have going for us is if we find the hit on this Gran, we'll do a lot of damage, we'll get our brave point that we just spent potentially back, and we'll be at a resource lead at that point, and also he's in the corner. Right, both of those things kind of synergize together. So I'm looking for an opportunity to keep this Gran in the corner. Not even this. I don't even know necessarily that I want to zone him at this point, right? Like, he jumps over this, cool. But like, even excluding that, I don't want to zone him right now. I want to find an opportunity to get kind of close and either poke him out, right? But if he gets close to me, almost like let him do it to brave counter him, to get the hard knockdown, to get the pressure going, right? And this is the thing that's stupid about BC, right? Like the sentence I just said there is why BC should not hard knockdown on brave counter, because the idea that like I'm gonna let my opponent start offense so their offense can become my offense is not super fun, right? That and so that's but you know what? As it stands, that's in the game, right? So if I'm you, I'm finding an opportunity to be able to BC this dude, or otherwise take my turn. I'm not backing up like this, right? Whether it's BC, whether it's pokes, whether it's whatever, backing up like this, guess what? You now have nothing going for you. You've spent your meter on the fireball. You don't have the screen space advantage anymore. You're even on resource BP-wise, and he has way more health than you. Nothing, and you're not at BL5 either. Nothing is going your way anymore. Here, one thing was going your way in this situation, and you gave it up, right? So I like that, and I think that's why you lose that round. It's like you have to just guess right like 3 times in a row to win from that situation, right? So the same way, when everything is going in your favor, you can like really just loop. You can spend all your resources at once to like just like really ham fist the risk reward, right? You can spend all of your, if you like have health, you have brave points on them, you've got screen space on them, you've got meter on them, you've got like, you know, matchup on them or something. You can spend all of that to just like brute force your way into a win. That's great. That's but you shouldn't do that when it's even. You should do that when you're ahead, right? However, when you only have one thing going for you, opposite. You have to find that one thing and cling to it like it's gold. Right? Okay, sure. Again, a little careful with the Tesseras, but off a block string, it's at least a little bit more real. It's at least a little bit more real. A little bit harder to react to because you're in. I mean, you have to hit the button a little bit quicker because you're in block stun. It's like you can't action as quickly. Sure. It's a better round for you, certainly. Good 2H. I will say, in a matchup like this, where your main goal is to keep him away from you, converting off these 2Hs is kind of important, right? If we're talking about S++, we're talking about you made it to S++, you're trying to push to Master, stuff like that, right? Because the big thing is you want Gran to feel uncomfortable. The goal as a defensive player is to make it, again, so the offensive player feels like they have to get in, but they can't, right? That's the mental state you want them in. And again, fighting games, it's all about, like, putting your opponent in a mental state where they can't face you anymore, right? Like, they just, like, they lose the mind game. And, one of the important things to make them feel like options aren't like worth doing is if they've, you know, all the times they've tried that option previously, it's like killed them or done a lot of damage, right? So this 2H is nice in the short term, and that it keeps him off you, right? And it does still signal to him like, okay, he's like awake, like he's 2Hing these, right? But if this 2H had like killed him, which it maybe could have, or at the very least got him close to death, right? Then he starts becoming he's either a lot more wary to jump, which is good because that limits his options to get in, or if he keeps jumping, I mean, just keep 2Hing him until he stops, right? Like kill his ass. So that converting a little bit better off that, I think, would have been important there. Right? Hello, Ash. How's it going? How are you doing on this beautiful Sunday afternoon? That punished? Oh, that was very unfortunate for him. Just barely whiffed. Could have gotten the kill right there. He's still in a good spot. Nice. Yeah, the brave counter is exactly what you do here. Push your lead, right? This is the other situation, right? This right here, this is gonna be this kind of the main. So the reason I'm focusing on this, right? The reason I'm focusing on this is because you mentioned you wanted to be more authoritative in these games, right? And I think a good way to be authoritative is to recognize game states, right? Know when if you can know when you're ahead, and you understand what makes a lead and what makes an advantage, right? That recognition can sort of fill in for confidence. Maybe you wouldn't be as confident if things were even. You wouldn't be as authoritative. You wouldn't be just like smacking your balls down on them as much if things were even. But if you can recognize when everything is going your way, right? Then you can really start playing a lot more confidently. This is one of those cases, and this is the correct, like this is good, right? You have health on him. You basically have meter on him. It's roughly even. You're almost at BL5.
This person
right?
is incredibly
the only
smart
thing,
and attractive.
The only thing is that you're not, like, technically he has a little bit of screen space on you, right? But here, like, you can kind of just big dick this Gran. Your good play across the rest of the round has earned you, and like some luck, because that's always how it is in fighting games. Cheeky, thank you very, very much for the 7 months right there. You are Grand Mustard, so true. Your good play and like just lucky guesses on RPS or whatever have earned you this lead. Now benefit from it. Don't play the same way you would if things were even. And I say all this because like you don't, right? Like the fact that the very first, like, you know, spend your resources, whether it's do something risky to try and spend your health, cool. Do something like spend some meter to try and pressure him, right? Use a U skill, or spend the BP. That's the safest option usually, right? Spend the BP, right? And again, good to like at this point you can try to chip him out, right? If I'm you, yeah, I would have done that quicker. I think you can do U skills when other skills are on cooldown, right? Now the Gran might double roll, right? But I think it's the kind of thing you can like. Even if he does, he's not going to kill you because you have a brave point advantage and a health advantage and everything, right? So, like, maybe you could have even done Iblis into you Iblis right there, right? And if he blocks it, you win because he's on chip and you're plus, like, 45. Even if he doesn't block it, who cares, right? And this is combining 2 of your advantages, right? Kind of 3, but let's say 2. It's your big health lead and your big meter lead. So you can use your U skills, because U skills kind of by definition, kind of they fuck up the balance of the game, right? They're stronger options that you wouldn't normally have access to. You can use a U skill to force an advantage, and even if he finds the counterplay to that U skill, you don't lose. And if he doesn't, you win, right? Like that's a heavy-handed situation. That's like you're really brute forcing your way through the risk reward to try and get a victory here. But that's fine because you have these advantages, right? So you do it later, that's okay. It's not, you still kill him, that's fine. But I think you could have even done it earlier just to like keep up the pressure, right? You are ahead, play like you're ahead, right? If you're like the stronger, better, faster guy, healthier guy, you should be pressuring the other guy, right? All that, like, and it doesn't have to be like that you run up to them, right? In this case, Lucilius is still the defensive character here. It's not like you're like rushing him down, but like use your projectiles, put him on chip, make him do something, force him to do something risky, right? Force him to take a big risk to have any chance of coming back in the game. Make him panic. It's a mind game, right? Okay. I'll say, so again, playing defensive is not just backing up. You're backing up, you have to hold your space a little bit better against this Granathan, right? There's no reason that Gran is winning this Fireball War right now. Or like, there's no shot this is happening, right? And you jumping on him, it only kind of becomes a thing now because you've pushed yourself to the corner, right? Gran has to get in. Another thing that's going to make you authoritative is, again, it's I think understanding things at first principles makes you confident doing stuff in moments, right? Because like at the end of the day, the thing that makes you not authoritative, makes you not confident, is just like the fear of having your guess be wrong, right? However, if you, when you're calmer, you learn, you understand, you know how things work, that can give you the confidence to be like, you know, yes, at sometimes it's an 80-20 in your favor and you lose the 20 comes up. That's fine. But if I understand what my best scenarios are and I play to them, right? As a layer 1, obviously, like you eventually have to adapt when you start playing really good people. You can't just like do the default thing your character does. But if I understand my good situations and I play to them, I can do that with confidence no matter what happens in the match. I'll say it a lot of the time, for example, when I'm playing with Diva, where I'm like, if I command grab someone and they jump it, it's like, well, right, that's what my character does. I can't. Diva's like a slot machine. It's like way worse than Lucilius in terms of the consistency of the strong thing about you, but like still, it's like, well, what am I gonna do? Like not get gas? I don't even look at gas prices. Like, what am I gonna do? Not command grab? I'm a grappler, right? Like, I know going in that like I am built around this 50-50 mix. So like, if someone jumps it, what am I gonna stop doing it and just like die? No. I just, I'll find ways to condition it, stuff like that. Try to like make the command grab more likely to hit, whatever. But at the end of the day, if I know what my character does and I understand the matchup and I understand like the puzzle pieces at play, then even if I play them and it doesn't work out, I can still be confident in the decisions that I made, right? So one thing is understanding resources and leads and who's ahead and who's behind as the game state progresses. The other thing is at a baseline, you need to know, you have to have confidence in the fact that if Gran doesn't get in here, Gran is on a timer, right? If Gran can't get on you, he loses by default. Because eventually, you get to BL5, and it's just like the odds of him winning that, if you're like both on full health, or full brave points roughly, and you have BL5 and he's just a Granathan, the odds of him winning that are so low, right? Like, it's just, the risk reward gets so incredibly skewed in your favor at that point. So, he has to get in, and you don't, right? You're chilling. Like, you, all you have to do is keep the Gran away, right? So, what I say this because you don't need to do, you really don't need to do this, right? Why? You don't need to do that. What, like, why do you want to get it on the Gran, right? If anything, even if this jump in works, if he blocks this and you're plus in his face now, even that's not that good. Because now all he has to do is like find one escape from your offense, and suddenly you guys are right in each other's faces, which is where he wants to be, not where you want to be, right? You want to hold the space between you, and so that's why the other thing here is like, don't feel the need to run away. Another thing you can be confident in from first principles, right, is that you just have really good buttons, right? You have good ass buttons, and if Gran is running at you, you can just poke his ass out pretty well, right? So I like that to me, I would say is like, I think he's throwing fine things neutral, is not understanding the spaces too well. He's running away a little much for my liking, right? I think it's important to recognize that playing defensive is not running away. It's holding space, right? And sometimes running away, but like that's the last resort, essentially, right? Like because screen space again is another resource, and you pay in screen space. You can run out of screen space if you run away too much, which is basically what happens here. And I think it's why you end up feeling the need to jump, right? Because like you end up pretty close to the corner, so you feel the need to like do something aggressive to get out of the corner. But like this didn't have to be this way in the first place, right? Like now you're in the corner, and now things are just bad for you, right? Like now the corner is just, it's not a good place to be, obviously. I don't think that needs too much explanation there, right? He does more damage, and also you can't adjust your spacing nearly as easily, right? Like this round was probably not, I would say it was like lost at round start. That's like way too dramatic, but like you backing up so much, like sure, you just get strong on wake up there and you ate a combo. He could have killed you off it too. He didn't, but yeah. This I will say, be careful of this. Yeah. So just talking about like little things. This thing's minus. I wouldn't just like do this into nothing. Certainly, I definitely wouldn't do that into far M. I don't know what the fuck the Gran hit right there, right? But like you should get counter hit for this. I don't know. Did he 2M? He had to be so late, right? But like I definitely would not just throw out far H into mash, right? This if you want to cancel it on block into like a special to get some plus frames, cool, awesome. But like this into far M, nah, it worked that time. But that's not it. Gran should certainly have killed you for that. I'm not entirely sure what he's working with there. Yeah, confirming like stray hits into Iscariot is huge for Lucy too, certainly. Okay, sure. Yeah, like right there, this confirming like if you get a far, actually Iscariot's on cooldown, right? It's the back. Is it back or down? I think it's back. Never mind. I'm sorry. But you could have still converted this into more. You probably get like you fireball here into like a full like corner to corner combo or something. I mean, you have SSBA. I don't know if Lucy's SSBA actually works here. You can Raging Strike to get CDs back. True. And again, it's another point of like, yes, maybe Raging Strike wouldn't be, it's a spend of resources that might be better used on Brave counter. But guess what? You have 3 Brave points. This guy has 1, right? Another point of like, you have a big resource advantage. Play towards your advantages right now, right? You're down on health, but you have a lot of meter, and you're currently like you have like you're comboing him. Obviously, that's fine. But you have a lot of meter, and you have a lot of Brave points. So spend one or the other to extend your lead and make the game more even health-wise, right? So I would have you fireballed there, or guess he's got a point. You could Raging Strike as well, and then eventually you could get your cooldown back and get the Iscariot Ender to get some blade level. Or yeah, you can do this too. Certainly, like this is certainly fair. But you could have done this off the other hits, right? You could have converted into SSBA, I think, off the first hit there. But you got a second hit, and I think his ass is dead. In retrospect, I would have converted that farm to UA Blaze. Yes, I think I agree. He's not dead here, I don't think, unfortunately. But we don't get the shit your pants noise. Lucilius 0 flashbacks. This doesn't work, does it? The fireball's too slow. Yeah. Yeah, that's not the anti-projectile move he's hoping for there. All times where the Gran is sitting in 6 excel range as well, and you aren't repping the option at all. Yeah, it's true that, yeah, even if, so, I mentioned this at the very beginning, but it's probably worth reiterating, right? Even if you're playing defensively, quote unquote, one, it doesn't mean running away, it means holding your ground, and if you have to, running away to like get some better spacing. But also, you never want to do just one thing forever, right? Because you will get predictable. So like, if you're playing defensively, what that actually means is that like, 70-75% of the time, you're playing that hold your ground game, right? But you do have to like switch things up, or else you get predictable, and if you're predictable, you just die, right? At the end of the day, it's all RPS. You can jump over your fireballs, you can, there's an answer to everything you do. So yeah, if you do find a moment where like, I could like run some in his face offense right now, that will make your defensive play more effective because he'll have another thing on his mind and he might just pick the entirely wrong counterplay as a result, right? He might try to like preemptively poke stop 6XL and you whiff punish him with a far end or something like that, right? So like even if the plan is played defensively, right? Every now and then you should definitely switch it up just to remain unpredictable. But like, you know, it's all about finding that mix, and like that finding that mix is the interesting part. Depends on the character, depends on the matchup. Ooh, okay, sure. Got load. Okay, a little funny, but you know, some spaghetti from both of you. No worries. Happens. You Scariot, sure. I like it because it puts him in basically a one touch now. This is a well-played offensive sequence so far. Again, be a little careful with the Iscar. That was a good offensive sequence. I like it. You know, spend again, right? Think about it. What do you have right now? And you did this correctly, right? Like your health isn't in your favor. Brave point's not in your favor. You're not that close to Blade level 5, right? But what you do have a lot of is meter. You have the meter advantage here. So I love spending the meter advantage, one, to like lessen his health advantage. At this point, he's in the corner. We'll talk about that too, which means that both of you die in one hit anyways, basically, right? But also, it puts him in the corner, right? So you convert your meter advantage partially. You still have more meter than he does, but you convert it into a screen space advantage, right? But yes, that's all I was saying earlier too, Jesse. Yeah, don't Iscariot in neutral, or Tessera at neutral rather is what I mean to say. Don't like this Gran's not a knower. People will kill you for this. People who know the Lucilius matchup will just like you don't have to like it's like a pretty easy reaction check into like an option select, right? It doesn't even matter what version you do. You just kill him for it. Okay, wait, what happened here? You just try to throw out the sword and you got bopped. Is that right? Oh, he rolled it? Oh, interesting. He rolled it and then you tried to 6XL at him. He was quicker on the draw. Sure. Happens. Yeah, Tessera is like one of the best anti-zoning tools in the game. It's a very bad neutral option. Whoa, that's a misinput or something. I guess you wanted to anti-air him? I will say, with invincible anti-airs, there's no rush, right? If you hit him the frame before he hits you, you're fine, right? It's like with invincible anti-airs like this, there's no rush, man. Maybe you thought he was going to be in range, but like, no rush at all. Because it's frame 1 invuln, right? So if you hit him the frame before he gets you, you're fine. That was plus. Oh, that was plus. Oh, baby. Okay. This Gran is letting you get away with some stuff, certainly. Sure. Sure. So, this is one of them. Okay, that worked. I was gonna say this is one of them situations, right? Where like again, what is going? What's going for you right now? You're low on health. You're in the mid screen. You have a turn going. That's good. You have offense. That's a big deal, right? But you have less meter. You have less health. You have fewer brave points. What's the win condition you can try to play towards here, right? And notably, there's a little pink bar in the bottom of your screen that is almost at game over mode, right? Listen, you play aggressively here and like you poke him out and you somehow catch him with this, cool. But I think realistically, you have some screen space to work with after you poke him out with the far M here and he blocks it, right? If I'm you, I think you just like you play to get level 5, right? However you can, right? Play to get level 5. Whether that's like if you can get a combo, yeah, and like end your put a bunch of specials in your combo, and then like if you can hit confirm something, that's amazing, right? But otherwise, if you can't, like back up, spend some screen space to get to level 5, right? Throw some specials out, do some zoning, whatever, right? This works, sure, but like, you know, it's a little surprising that it does work. I'll say, right? It's not your most consistent way out of that bind. I'll say. I mean, now you're in a great spot, yeah. And the Gran panics. Okay. Wait, I know Lucilius. Yeah, it's Phantom. All right. So let's talk here, right? So I'm not gonna I've already said a lot, so I'm not sure that I'm going to repeat myself too much because I have a bad habit of that, right? But hoping to shore up my fundamentals as well as my matchup specifics, working towards S++. Want to feel more authoritative in matches, right? So again, I think if you want to feel more authoritative, if you want to have more confidence comes from knowledge, right? In my opinion, confidence comes from knowing what is good and what isn't and playing accordingly. And that varies by matchup and that varies by character, right? But it can also come from again, an understanding of when you are ahead, right? Like if you know what things make a lead, right? Like if you know, like, okay, the things to look out for as are health, meter, brave points, screen space, and also then any character specifics, right? Like if it's a good space for you, whatever. Like if you're like, if maybe you're like a zoner and you have a full screen, that's a thing going for you, right? Maybe you're a grappler and you're at full screen, that's not a thing going for you. And in this case, well, your blade meter, right? For Lucilius, your blade meter is like one of the huge things that could either be bad for you or good for you. If the round's almost over, you're at level 1, then it's not a play around. If the round is maybe almost over, you're at 4.5. That's a build around, right? Like that's something that's one of the things you could play towards. So understanding what makes a lead, understanding when you have a lead, being able to at a glance be like, oh shit, I'm ahead. That'll make you play more confidently, right? And again, playing more confidently in the form of pushing that lead, right? If you have more brave points, use them. If you have more health than he does and you're not gonna die the next time he hits you, do more risky shit, where if you're right, he died, and if he's right, you don't die. Right? If you have more meter, brute force it with U skills. If you're almost at BL5, either hit confirm something into Scariot, or if you can't find the hit, then like back up and like throw specials until you are. Because he also can see that bar. He can see that you're almost at BL5. So if you're just like backing up and throwing Iblises and shit, he's like, fuck, I have to get in, man. Lucius is gonna fucking kill me. I have to go. And then he's gonna start doing more risky things. Or he won't. In which case, you get the BL5, and you probably kill him. Right? At that point, like, yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want at level 5. Yeah, Jesse's saying you can zone. Absolutely. You can do whatever you want, right? Your risk rewards, if you get one far M, he dies, probably. Like, once you're level 5, you do whatever the hell you want. It'll work out, right? But that, if you're looking for more confidence and, like, to pick options with more authority, then I think it comes from those things, right? Yeah, we also smaller scale stuff. Jesse brought up a lot of good points in the chat there. I mentioned some of them, I think. Like, yeah, making sure, make sure your pressure is like structured a little bit more safely, maybe. Like, there's definitely times they take like big risks on like far H minus on block into mash on your minus frames, or like, H Tessera in neutral or on offense, so you don't have to, right? So like you could do a little bit less of that, right? Understanding the spacing you want to be at, holding your ground, right? Again, if this matchup is you playing defensively, I'm going to say it one more time, and I've been repeating it over and over, playing defensively is not running away. It is holding your ground as much as you can, and only if you have to, running away, right? Poking, fireballs. Try to stand in exactly the same spot you are, while not letting him get closer, right? You run away a little bit too much for my liking. But yeah, that I think is about it, right? Alright, that's about it. Hope that was useful, Phantom. I said, appreciate the comments. I'm glad to hear it. I guess we're doing fucking one video, one replay of video today. There's been a lot to talk about in a lot of these. Who knows? But it's been a little bit since I'm done some replay review. I guess I got lots of ideas to talk about. But yeah, that's gonna do it. We're gonna do more. I think we're just doing replay review today. We're gonna do Gran Blue tomorrow as well. Is the plan. Listen, I like Guilty Gear, but I think I just I was like, I would rather be playing Gran Blue or Street Fighter right now, I think, instead of playing Guilty Gear. Even though it's fun, I'm okay. It's not my number one choice. So we'll be playing some more Gran Blue tomorrow. We'll actually play the video game then. We have a fun thing we're doing lazy then too. But for today, I think it's just, let's work through this replay review backlog. This is also a good time. I do enjoy doing this personally. But yeah, that's going to do it. VOD watchers, you know how it is. Like the video, subscribe, become a member if you'd like. I would appreciate that greatly, but no pressure, of course. Come join the Discord, join the stream, link in all the links and all the descriptions right there. Just be nice, rush you to in the head in Minecraft. Most importantly, hope you had a great time hanging out today, as always. I know I sure did. Very informative set from Phantom right here, Found Sound. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Let me drink some water here, and then we'll keep going. Water. That's that good shit. That is in fact that good shit. Alright, what are we doing here? Dingus Khan! Wall Brawl review? Wait, that's me. What is this? How long is this? What? You know what? Fuck it. Why not? Sure. I'll try not to pause this too much in that case then. It'll be a 50-minute video, but like so of the other two, so it's, who cares? Alright, let's do it then. I'm gonna need a little bit more water for that one though. Sorry if you can hear me switching that shit around right there. Just trying to hydrate all parts of my mouth. All right, folks, we are back. More Gran Blue, more replay review. The first set's probably most important. Okay. I mean, I'm down to look at the whole thing, at least like skim through the whole thing if I find like anything, maybe the ones you lose at the end or something, if you do. But yeah, more replay review. Dingus Khan here with Wall Brawl review. That's fun. Looking for some advice to improve. I noticed that I Raging Strike way too much. I've tried to get out of the corner right into my opponent's loving arms and need to probably use BC more rather than challenge out of the corner with 2M, or at least mix it better. Okay, I mean, you've got some good ideas already. Interesting. Go. Let's see. Let me see what you got going on here. This is a long VOD, so I'm not gonna try not to pause it too much. But you know, again, as always, when you get hit, when you lose your turn, good times to pause and try to analyze some stuff. Oh my lord! And also when you, understanding like whether you're the aggressor or the defender is important. But obviously, Beatrix, Matera, you can tell who's trying to hold the space, who's trying to close the space in this matchup, right? It's very clear. This is a rough one too. Though your low arrow will hit riding free, right? Yeah, that one. I think you can't roll that, so you can't riding free it either, which is definitely good news for you. Okay. Oh. Interesting. You can get punished for it. Sure. I like the poke, like that far M holding the space. You have lost a little bit of screen space, but you have like gotten most of her health in exchange, so that's pretty good. Okay, that shit whiffed? It's not full screen? Who would have thought? I don't know why I thought it was. I know the H one isn't, but I thought the U one was. Oh. Just missed the punish there, unfortunately. I don't know if you could, I mean, you didn't have Raging Strikes, I don't know if you could have killed her off it. Like, you could Raging Strike, you didn't have the meter of Raging Chain though, right? So, I don't know. That's it. Definitely, you would have at least wanted to get that punish right there. If she actually starts riding free, low arrow doesn't work in its startup though? What? Well, but you can't roll low arrow, can't you? And if you can't roll it, you can't riding free it either. Or is riding free a better low profile than roll? I didn't think so. Are you sure? Can you roll her low arrow? I didn't think so. Alright, sure. Oh, so you can roll it. Oh, okay. I thought you couldn't roll it. If you can roll it, then it makes sense. You can riding free it too, yeah. You gotta watch out when she's got clock up, is because now 2-2H is a nuke, a kill you button. U arrows works great on riding free though? Huh, interesting. That certainly helps too, that's a good idea. I like that. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think one thing in general for Matera, right? Because like I don't play Matera, but I play against a lot of Matera. This move is risky, right? You have to realize this move right here, like your rain of arrows, this is a punishable reaction check. For any character with a U skill neutral skip, like Ladiva can U lariat this on reaction, Sora's can U dash punch this on reaction, Beatrix can U riding free it on reaction. You have to be very careful throwing this move out. You have to like catch them with it, right? Because if you like, this is reactable and killable, right? This is not like, they're not RPSing here. She can do that shit. She almost did it there, right? And it's by the way, it's very easily reactable, right? Because like you can be really late and still, she almost got that, and look how late she was, right? So like you have to be very careful with that move. You can't just be throwing it out as much as you are, because again, it's reactable and you die for it when they react to it. Sure. Because that Beatrix looks really good and cool. Kind of looks like Gamera if he was white. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's just me. Oh, this is a tough spot. Yeah. That's kind of the spot you want to avoid, right? No HP, no brave points in a 50-50 because she's got a command grab. Yeah, that's one of the best things about Beatrix, right? Is that she can enforce a true 50-50 for game while like not being, an incredibly slow character or like paying for that command grab really. I'm working on not throwing out rain of arrows so much, yeah. Because like, it is reactably punishable, and it's quite an easy reaction at that. So you got to be careful about it. It's very much like I know that you know that I know that you know that you're looking for it, so I'm gonna like keep that on your mental stack and do other things. Then suddenly I'm gonna throw it out right when you least expect it, and that can be very demoralizing. Because like if they feel like they missed their one window to get in, right? They can sometimes gather some rope from the nearest Home Depot and go to town. What the fuck? Okay, sure. Yeah, you want to stay out of 2-2H range as much as you can, right? If you can help it. I like the empty hop low, nice. Again, that mixing up every now and then going a little bit more aggressive is good. Because obviously you're the defender in this matchup, but again, you never go 100% defender, 100% aggressive, right? It's probably just like, it's like 85-15 in this matchup or something. Even her fucking win quote tells you that she's the rushdown. I mean, it's pretty good so far. This is a tough matchup for you too. So I think, like, yes, you end up like losing a lot of screen space, but I mean, it's your currency, right? You have to pay it to like do your shit. Good whiff punish on the throw. Good, well reacted. Yeah, it's tough, right? Like that is tough. I think a big thing. So, Materas do this a lot. I don't think I've seen you do it yet. Well, so a lot of Matera's stuff is reactable, and then you kill her, right? So what a lot of Materas will do to bait out reactions, or like to make you second guess your reactions, is like from full screen, they'll like far L the ground a bunch. And it might look worthless, it's like, what are they doing? But it's because it like, she's like firing, it looks like she's pulling the bow back, like it looks like an animation of her doing something, right? But it recovers super quickly, and if you do, like if she's riding freeze there, you can like sweep her out of it, or like even block it or jump over it or whatever once your far L recovers, right? So like, when people are reacting to everything you're doing, which as a zoner is like your #1 bane, right? Then like start doing a bunch of fake shit, right? And Matera's far L is very well designed for this because it actually looks a lot like the startup of her doing her actual moves that you're trying to react to, right? Like it's not like, you know, Eustace pulls out a gun for his Flamek and then he like slashes a knife for his like far M or something, right? Like she's pulling a bow back and pulling a bow back. It's very hard to tell the difference on reaction. You don't, like not for the first like 15 frames or something, you don't tell the difference, actually. What's going on, man? Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, I hit M apparently. I'm sorry about your ears. They're trying to use far L more as well? Okay, okay. Ooh, okay, command grab whiff, good shit. This is really like the little walkbacks. So the guard button is superior to the blocking in every facet of this game, except like you should always by default be holding the guard button, right? Except this exact situation. Strike throw in the mid screen, right? Because then you can make shit whiff, right? You can make shit whiff, like just like this. If I got master rank with swords, yo, congrats, man. You saying you've been stuck for a while? You weren't feeling too good? See, I told you it was gonna happen. When you were playing against me, I was like, I mean, you're good enough to get it, certainly. Matter of time. Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate, yeah. You would have wanted to hold her in the corner there, probably. Oh, this is... You could have killed her there, right? I don't know Matera mid-screen, but couldn't you? Yeah, this is punishable. Is your far L not 6 frames? It's got Master of Belial? Yo, congrats. Your far L is 6 frames, right? Because you've missed this punish. Is it your 2L? It's your 6 framer? Is your far L not 6 frames? Hold on, let's check this. That's like twice now. I'm a little bit suspicious of you. Just a little bit of Matera. Let me pull up the dust loop here. No, not close L. Yeah, it's not. You shouldn't be using that move to punish at all. Yeah, okay. This is not your punish move. Maybe you thought you were in close L distance, but like, I guess you 2L and hope for the best? Right. 2-2 is -8? What? What? Is that new? Because no. Really? No, yeah, it's -6. Has been forever. Okay. Yeah. I was like, what? Is that didn't like change that in the Vakala patch or something, right? No, ever since the emergency patch, this has been -6. Yeah, so this straight up doesn't punish, is why you've missed this twice, right? Maybe you thought you were in close L range, but you should be just hitting 2L, probably hoping for the best, right? So you should be hitting 2L on this. Both of Beatrix's riding frees are -6, the punishable ones, right? 2-2H also -6, right? So where is it? Skills, riding free. Also -6. So both of her punishable riding frees are -6. So you should 2L it, right? You should 2L it. If you were in close L range, it'll work, but it doesn't leave you in close L range, right? If you return the 2-2U -4, I need that? No, I think you're fine, Tempo. I think, me personally, I think you're doing okay. Yeah, so 2L this, don't far L this. Ow. You dead? Shit. This is why they shouldn't return the 2-2U -4. Me personally. Okay, weird trade, but it works. Whatever gets Beatrix away from you. Good 2M. Nice little button. Hold some space. I like playing aggressively there to earn some screen space back, so like when that happens, you don't get cornered right away. I like it. I like it. Owie. What was that? Counter? What? Counter? I thought you would have blocked and punished. I looked away for a second. I thought you would have blocked and punished it. This kind of runs up at you. It's unfortunate. Ooh. Rough on the U-butterfly there. Didn't get too much out of it. That would have been a lot of chip too, is the good thing, right? Okay, still got her though. Shot her in the face with a gun. You take those. Dodging to punish it as well? Yeah, I'd be careful though. Like the frame data will vary massively. And you might even get hit if you're late enough. Just block it and punish generally. It's safe. Get the mouse off the screen. Okay. You can play reactive with riding free or ult fireball when Matera has to hold it. Well, that's what, well, if you're playing reactive though, those things can be baited out, right? It's a tough matchup though. Out. For Matera, of course. Not for Beatrix. Beatrix is having the time of her life in this fucking thing. Okay, you're not dead yet. It's not great though. Command grab 50-50. Yeah, I mean, again, it's tough. That's one of the best things about Beatrix, right? Just having a command grab on a character like this is really good. Let's see here. Okay. Sure. I like the far L right there. Poke him out a little bit. It can be a pretty nice button to sort of hold that space, right? I mean, they're not, you know, the empty hop low is really getting to him, so sure, keep it up, I suppose. The Cyril, my brain was a little fried at this point, honestly. I mean, you know, fair. We'll see. That's okay. The double U skill is certainly. Oh, you built just enough for the Raging Chain. Okay, sure. I will say you should definitely be spot dodging your arrows, not the other way around, right? Oh god, yeah, that's a little misinput. It's fine. Oh god, you're like fucking dead. You're dead. Oh no. Yep. Yep. Hello, Hogan. I'm doing well. How are you? Oh god damn. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh my. Oh jeez. Oh shit. Okay. That's a rough one. Well, how can we have avoided this? What went wrong here? Where did I go wrong? I lost a friend, etc., etc. Fair damage, she needs it? I mean, to be fair, like, unironically, Matera's on 1 brave point, right? And she's a low health character. Like, it's not, like, I don't think that's insane damage for real, right? And she has her, like, comeback mechanic. Now, you could be like, why does she have the comeback mechanic? But, like, with this mechanic that she only gets at under 30 as well, like, it's actually not, right? It's actually not that, like, this is not, like, crazy damage. It's very sad that it happens. Well, I mean, obviously, you could have killed him there, so that's one thing, right? Yeah, it's a far range starter too. Like it's actually like super. It'd be kind of sad if Beatrix like couldn't kill here. And she kills what with room to spare, right? But, like it'd be pretty sad if she couldn't kill here, really. Off a far range starter and clock and SSBA and 1 brave point and 15,000 health character, plus your mama dead, plus your daddy bald and his balls crooked and weird too. You got the beans above the Frank and shit, right? I guess yeah. Besides saying to like just get the punish, yeah, I will say probably I think you do trigger your butterflies a little too much, right? Like, it's a good point by Jesse there. Like, you could just, like, with Butterfly on people, it kind of, like, spooks them a lot of the times into either, like, suddenly doing something really aggressive, or, right, like, just they have to sit there and, like, wait until you pop them, right? So, like, you don't necessarily have to, like, immediately pop the butterflies like that, because now, you're in a little bit more of a no man's land, right? She does do this, you do block it, that's good. You missed the punish, though. But at this point, this is tough, right? This is not the spacing you want to be at, certainly. I mean, I'll say this. same thing here. This 6XL, you brave counter this 115% of the time, right? Again, 6XL cannot be canceled. 6XL is a free BC, right? Are you at a BP disadvantage? Yes. But like, if you can like do this and then hit her with one thing on wake up, like meaty, an arrow or something, she's just on chip, right? Like once bad things have happened and Beatrix is in your face, you have to play for the one thing you have, and the one thing you have is the health lead, right? So just do your best to kill her before it matters that you have no BP. Instead, you kind of sit there and try to like, you know, far M your way out instead, and you just die, right? Matera has guaranteed chip setups, I think. If so, then like even more so. But even if it's not guaranteed, take the BC, put her on chip, and then go from there, right? But yeah, if you got fucking guaranteed chip setups, fucking amazing. But I do not know the Matera ins and outs, I fear. You won't stop saying, I fear, I fear, I fear. Okay, sure. Oh boy. Oh me, oh my. I mean, round start riding free, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, if like doing nothing will kill you anyway, Hogan, you might as well do something and have a chance to win, right? Okay. Fucking comboed off that? I guess it was meaty, right? So you got like the meaty hit right there. I know the chip setups very well. Even if you don't know the setups, just like brave counter her and throw an arrow at her ass or something, right? And just hope for the best. Once I get 500k channel points, oh no. Oh no. Narmaya's not on the ban list, so I guess I'm fucked. Oh, okay, I mean, that was... You know, sometimes that happens. You kind of just got your shit riding free, you know? Was there anything else of, like, notes that happened in this match? Yeah, I mean, you mashed on plus frames right there. Yeah, you mashed on plus frames a couple of times, I will say, but I think you said you were a little mental boomed. I think that shows a little bit here, right? Matera on the ban list? No. It's Nier and Fairy, basically, because I just don't want to learn Nier, and I don't want to learn Fairy right now. Riding free has info against projectiles. What just happened there? It's low profiles. And apparently it can low profile Matera's low arrow? Right? Like, I thought you couldn't roll this. And if you couldn't roll it, I thought you couldn't riding free it either. But like, this might be... Because like, that's kind of the heuristic I use normally, right? Is like, if you can't roll it, you can't riding free it. And I'm pretty sure you can't roll this. Oh, ignore the paint there. I'm pretty sure you can't roll this. And I'm thinking like... Is riding free like a slightly better low profile than roll? Like ever so slightly? I don't know. Because it low profiles this arrow, which I didn't think you could do. You can roll 214X to the exception of 214U? Okay, well that makes sense. Okay, yeah, never mind. Never mind. If you can just roll it, then it makes sense. I don't know why I thought you couldn't. It looks like it's designed to stop roll. He like fires a low arrow, right? Hey, it's a winning matchup. So in this matchup, you 2H and then Abel loses. Yeah. So in this matchup, Abel can't use flight because your 2H has infinite range. And he can't block when he's flying, so being air blockable is useless, right? Like in this matchup, you wait for Abel to try to do some flight bullshit, and then you just 2H him, and then he can't do flight, then it becomes much harder for him to do anything in this matchup, basically. This is the general idea. Honestly, I tend to get mental fried a bit easily, more so like to admit. Honestly, I mean, it's a skill, right? Like, also, I think we'll... we maybe won't watch the whole... You said the first round is the most important. Since I just realized I'm on 20 minutes and I'm, like, on the second set. Maybe we won't watch the whole thing. But, yeah, I mean, like... What if he never flies, though? I mean, he's gonna have a hard time getting in on Matera without flight, right? He can try to fight you zoning a little bit, right? But... If he never flies, then he's one of his best tools he's not using. That's a good thing for you. If your opponent just, like, doesn't use one of the best tools in their kit, you're pogging. You have to fucking condition them off it, even. They just, like, don't do it. That's great. I've kind of talked about a lot of different, like, Matera and zoning fundamentals in general, right? I think the big thing in this matchup that was happening a lot, especially as the set went on and Neff got, like, more of a read on you, is, like, you were just on reaction getting murdered by everything, right? So, baiting out... Like, if I have one thing for you to focus on right now, is baiting out reactions using far L, right? Either baiting them out or making people feel less confident about their reactions by repping some far L, just like in the neutral, at full screen, right? So then, like, again, what it does is if they do just like, if they're like hair trigger reacting, then they'll do like riding free into your far L and you'll block it and kill them. And if they're not hair trigger reacting, they'll be like, what the fuck? That's a far L. Oh shit. Not everything, not every motion that I see from full screen from the Matera is like something I can writing free. So like that adds a couple of frames of processing. And again, that like little delay on their reactions, if they're paying attention, might be the difference between like that writing free hitting you or getting hit by the arrows, right? Yeah, more butterfly, and don't pop the butterflies as often either. But yeah, one thing is just like, you know, what kills you in that set was getting reacted to over and over. So like a little bit less of that is probably a good, like trying to mitigate that is probably a good thing to start with, right? Where the fuck am I? I've lost myself. UL replay from Asia server. So for how long is this? 9 minutes. Is that like a quick one, real quick? Mom, pick me up. I'm scared. I'm stuck in Matera butterfly pressure, and I must spot dodge. Is that like a 2-minute one, real quick? We can mix in with this. That's a goddamn. Oh, what? Is this like down? Does this not work anymore? What happened here? Oh, there you go. Oh, it works now. Okay, it's 5 minutes. That's close enough. I'll do that. Tack on like a short one to the end of this, and I will go back for the others after. Rawl's a great zoning tool, but trying to turn on more often. Yeah. I watch the VOD vids. I'm glad to see you while you're live. Hello, Cinnamon Slice. How's it going? All right. So I did win this one. Got myself to S+ with Versuja finally. Lots of Versujas in these replay reviews. The Versuja's hunger for knowledge, certainly. Any improvements anyone could easily call out? Probably aside from my occasional brutal 5L spacing. I have a feeling I'm going to get choke slammed through a few coffee tables and sent back to S almost immediately. I mean, that is how it goes. That's not even a you thing. The way the rank system is designed, like some ping-ponging right when you get to a new rank is very expected. If anything, it's not happening means you're probably smurfing. I may as well learn some stuff before I go at that. This was a good match. No real stomping either side, but I do feel like I'm still lacking in a lot of areas. Upon rewatching this, I've also spotted a fair few jumps. Shouldn't have done it all. Come from Blaze Blue. It's a bad habit, so true. Just gotta work on my mental a little more so I don't get fried so easily. That is like a... The problem is I can never give advice on that, really, because, like, it's such a personal thing. Just, like, as you know, as silly as it sounds, as long as you focus on, like, having a good time, that helps. But, like, how to do that, how to stop when you stray away from that, how to control yourself when, like, giving, like, advice for like, fixing your mental is, like, a very long process and, like, very hard to do impersonally. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I have a much better time giving, like, advice about mental to, like, someone that I know deeply. It's very hard because, like, it's such a personal thing to figure out how to not get tilted, figure out how to have fun, how to find the fun, even in, like, you know, mistakes, or how to learn from failure or stuff. That's not something I can really just tell you as a guy who knows nothing about you. Right? Anyways, let's watch this here. Versuja versus Zeta, huh? That's certainly interesting. Versuja versus Zeta. I mean... You certainly have button and zoning advantage in this, right? So you probably have, like, again, you know, what Zeta obviously has some, I mean, Zeta's probably not hitting you with the fuzzy, to be fair, right? So you probably don't have to worry about, like, the crazy offense or anything, but still, like, your ideal position is, like, here or, like, a little further back, right? I'm back from the Clover Clash draft, something you are dog shit, something you are Grandmaster de Arimas. I'm glad, you know what? That's my daily dose of Besu, all in like 3 seconds. If you have somewhere to be, you know, feel free, good sir. You've served your purpose. Okay, sure. Far HH. Could have converted that, but you know, it's fine. Not necessarily the most important thing yet. It's like a whole other division from now, probably, where I really start getting on your ass for that. Like more so when you're on that border of like S++5, S+1. Sure. It's a lot of Nimbus, man. I like you trying to back up a little bit here. Okay, sure. I don't know that you need to approach him generally, but like, sure. Like, as every now and then is fine, but like, you're doing it a lot, right? I'm not so sure that's like where you want to be. Though I guess the Zeta has, like, when the Zeta does have 50 meter, things get a little bit more difficult, but... Her, like, U skills are not projectile invuln, really. If you throw out, like, an Anitya, she can't really do it. Seems like more jumping that is totally necessary. Yes, in their defense, they did call that out already, so I'm not gonna, like, in like the text for the replay review, so I'm not gonna like harp on that too much, but yeah, certainly some jumping going on. Good conversion, not bad. Get your stock back up too. I like it. Get the knockdown, go for the zoning. Oh yeah, multi hits into the parry can like cause problems for Zeta sometimes. Ow. Ow. Harvest, by the way. Infinite Wonders, dare I say. This DP, you know? This DP, this DP is a curious case of Benjamin Button, because, like, it's one of them DPs, listen, you gotta DP. If you have a reversal, you gotta represent it, just like you can keep it on people's mind a bit. But, like, I don't really like this one, I don't think, just because you're not in that dire of a circumstance, really, right? Also, she just did something minus on block, I think, with that fireball. This is not a great DP, right? Because I think she did something minus on block, and the DP doesn't kill her if it hits, and you're not really in that bad of a spot. In fact, you have a Brave Point advantage here. Like, if you want out of the corner really badly, I would look more so for a window to BC than a window to DP, if I'm you, right? I mean, there's also the fact that, like, Versucha's DP range is so bad, this just misses straight up. It doesn't even need to block it, but yeah. Because, like, you know, hitting that DP won't win you the game, but not hitting that DP kind of, like, might lose you the game. You're not dead, but, like, this is way worse now. Because now you're, you know, the Brave Points have completely swung back around, and you got no HP, holeless, and your mama dead, right? Like, it's a big problem. Sure. Oh, baby. So here's a great example. Right here, right? Okay, I'm glad you did it. I was gonna go off on a big thing. You know, you don't have to be so... She's in the corner. She's almost on chip. You have projectiles. You have better projectiles than she does. Yeah, just back up and win this from full screen. It'll be the safest way for you to do it. But you did do it, so that's good. That's exactly what you should be doing there. Congrats on the S+ as well. You are dog shit de arimasu. So I forgot about Clover Clash. I actually I could have joined. No, wait, I couldn't have joined this week. I got. I'm doing something with Lazy tomorrow. Okay, sure. You are dog shit, Arimas. Can you pillar her for that? I think you can H pillar her on reaction there and kill her for doing, like, the run back. Okay. Actually, the good hit of your DP gets you the side swap as well. I'm not so sure you want to side swap her back out of the corner. It doesn't matter as much because you're Versucha, so she's back into the other corner, but you could have gotten more damage off that hit if you didn't side swap jump, certainly. Alright, sure. I like the Nimbai. This Zeta has been jumping usually right when your turn ends. So I'm a big fan of your Nimbai. Yeah, slightly misspaced, unfortunately. Oh god. You know, again, I think I need, if you really want to beat DP, think long and hard about maybe I should BC instead first, right? It's just, like, even against Zeta was a very good Brave counter bait, it's just safer than DPing, right? It's just safer, and honestly, a lot of the times gives you more advantage after, too. Okay. Yeah, you definitely have the advantage in full screen. Once you spend H pillar, you probably still have the advantage in full screen, but it gets a little bit more iffy, especially if you've got meter and you can, like, you Arvest you or something. Or, like, you Infinite Wonders you, but people smell it when you're at 5% HP. I mean, it's likely, right? That's when you were most likely to do so, DP or BC. Good conversion, sure. I like the poking with the Nimbai, right? Again, you're using that spacing advantage to yourself. Oh man. Yeah, good old 15 frame versus a 2H, whatever the fuck it is. Not quite fast enough to catch her there. Sure, good punish. This is certainly a combo. I mean, sure, I guess. I'm not sure if that was the best way to spend your meter, but it looked kind of cool if you considered it looked kind of cool. You guys think about the fact that it looks kind of swag? It looks kind of cool, though. The thing about it is, like, it's kind of got some cool points. I'm thinking it might be kind of cool is the thing. Oh, okay, sure. Oh, okay. Nice. Should be dead here. Honestly, even, like, I almost say, like, wait, are they not dead here? Oh, no. Okay, I think Well, okay, he's dead anyway, so that's good. But like, you know, sometimes just keep it simple, man. No need to do anything too fancy. I'm pretty sure if you just like auto combo into SBA here, she's just dead, right? She's got no brave points. So you just go auto combo 5U, auto combo SBA, and she just dies. So no need to overcomplicate things. You did win this anyway, but cooler a combo is, the more mental damage it does to your opponent. That's fair. Sometimes that happens. Where's your cool combo now? I mean, honestly, I feel like, you know, for a guy, like, we're talking about just getting into S plus here, right? I think that was totally fair. I think I was played pretty well. The big thing, what? Is that you? Is that in the video? What? Oh, it was. Okay. I'm like, did I take a screen? I didn't take a screenshot of anything. You took a screenshot of him getting to S plus or S plus. Congrats. But yeah, so. Like if I got to say like the really big thing that stands out to me hugely that lost you like both of the rounds that you might have watched is just the DPs, right? Note on the DPs, always see those after the fact, just how badly placed they are. I mean, it's not even so. I wouldn't say the reason these DPs are not good DPs, I think, isn't because they don't work. That's a very important thing to think about. Is that like even if these DPs hit, I don't think they were good DPs. It's not a matter of like, oh, you know, like that they. It's a matter of like just the idea behind them, the concept behind them, right? And yeah, in general as well, yeah, BC is just kind of safer. Both of the DPs you did when the round was almost over, so like, I mean, ideally you want to spend as many of like the way the approach to your resource with BP, I think, should be you want to spend as many of them as you possibly can, while avoiding the consequences of spending too many, right? Without, you know, dying to a combo that did too much damage, or like finding yourself in a defense situation where you can't BC and someone's doing some crazy nasty shit to you or something. But you should not really be conservative with them, in my opinion. You should use as many of them as feasible. Not possible, but feasible, right? You have 3 BP in almost all of these rounds, right? It's like a whole incredibly strong system mechanic you're just like not using, right? Like if you imagine, I don't know if you're familiar with like SF6 or something, but it's like you watch like a whole Street Fighter 6 game, like no one ever goes green, no one ever drive rushes or drive impacts or does the drive or uses the drive system at all, right? Or like you watch like a Guilty Gear match and like no one ever Roman cancels or something. You're like, like there's like a huge amount of power. You're like, you know, watch a Gran Blue match where like no one ever uses an ultimate skill, right? And you're like, how strange, right? Like I'm watching 2 Belials play. Isn't that weird? I guess he doesn't need them because he's so good. But oh god, fucking jump scared me again. Yeah, like you use the resource because it's really fucking good, essentially, right? I thought that one combo in Discord did in fact go, holy shit, that's cool, and practiced it. Fair enough. And the one time you hit it, I'm like, yo. I was like, you know, I don't know if that's the most efficient way, but it looks really cool. But if it's gonna like, if you can just kill her some other way though, I'm like, you know, sorry, I screenshotted. Yeah. Like the first time I looked behind me like someone knocked on my door or some shit, you know? It's like, huh? Alright, cool. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this was pretty well done, I think. I don't think I have like huge nitpicks. I mean, like maybe a little bit less auto combo for your pressure strings, right? In general, you know, like you want to do like plus frame into RPS, and auto combos are not really that. There's no RPS to an auto combo. It's like it just doesn't do it. It pushes people back, which like unironically, like you used pretty well in the set to like push the Vera back and just gain some screen space with auto combo. Like generally you want to do like plus frame into a reset into another plus frame, or plus frame into throw, or plus frame into frame trap, or plus frame into throw tech bait, right? That's like gonna be a much more effective up close offense. Auto combo kind of does nothing. In theory you get the high low at the end, but it's very low reward, and it's actually fake too. That's not even the problem at hand necessarily. Open up, we've heard you're reviewing replays without a permit. Pew! FBI, open up. But yeah, that is gonna do it for this one. We might do one more replay review here, and we'll see what I want to do after that. Maybe more replay review. We'll see. It depends. If the next one's like an hour long, then maybe not. But yeah, that is gonna do it for this video. VOD watchers, hello. I hope you had a good time with the video, all that good stuff. If you did, you know, like, subscribe, comment, bell, become a member. If you got some extra disposable income lying around, that'll be amazing. No pressure, of course. But also, if you want to come by, hang out on the stream, hang out on Discord, you know, we got links in the description for those kinds of things. Just be nice if you come by, or I will shoot you in the head in Minecraft without hesitation. Most importantly, hope you had a good time hanging out today, as always. I know I sure did. Yeah, having a lot of fun with Rising. Gonna be a lot more coming your way, and until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace. Brick got me back on the relink grind. Bro, did you see this? Okay, sorry. Off topic quickly, but like, well, it's the thing that's like absorbing my brain right now. Did you see this that I posted? Look at this fucking place, man. Look at this thing. Look at this, man. It's the drop rates for every single fucking quest in the game, man. You're like, oh, I wonder what, you know, like, and like, by the way, confirms that there are different curio tiers as well. You want to know, like, where you can find, you know, like, what's the odds? Wait, you want to see something depressing? It's like, what's the odds of getting the War Elemental 5+ from Behemoth, right? You go over here, you check. Right, it's got all these different, like, this is the clear rewards, these are all the different chests, right? Look at this. 60% chance on, like, the sigil drop. 60% chance to get nothing. And then it's split between all of these. War Elemental 5+. 0.73% chance. So on average, you would expect to beat 150 behemoths or something like that before you get a single War Elemental plus. And you just know, just like what happened to Caglio 0, as soon as you get a single War Elemental plus, it's gonna be like War Elemental and Provoke or something, and it's just completely fucking worthless, right? Dude, I got so mad. Gotta have gotcha luck RNG. I got so mad. Look at this. One last thing before we go back to the replay reviews here. I was looking at... Where was it? Yeah. Pageant of Might and Magic. This is like the easier of the two boss rush missions, right? Because I wanted a Berserker Echo Plus. And I figured out pretty quickly that it seemed like there was a 100% chance to drop one of the new sigils, right? But like, it didn't seem to be spread evenly. So it turns out that, yeah, you can get Berserker Echo Plus at about 30%. Spartan Echo Plus at about 43, and Super Ultimate Perfect Dodge Plus at about 30%, right? I did 14 runs of this or something, and I only got these two. And I was like, does it not drop? But then I found this, and I'm like, holy fuck, it's 30%. But just about. It's like 29%, right? I did like 14 runs of this boss rush, and like, they're long. It's a long-ass quest. I did 14 runs, I got none. And I was like, what? Why? What is happening to me? And then I got it like 5 runs after or something. What about the volunteer one? The volunteer one has a higher chance for Berserker Echo. Yeah, the volunteer one drops it at 43%. Problem is, this is way harder. This one's way harder, right? This my clear rate on this is like 50%, and it takes longer, and its balls are weird, right? Whereas like this one takes like half as long, and I clear it like 100% of the time easily, right? I got a Berserker Echo Plus, and it was Berserker Echo Plus and Fast Learner. Kill me. So I'm gonna farm up my AI to get full alpha gammas on them, and then we can go back to grinding that, because I just need to be able to beat Zathba's volunteers more easily, and I can't do it if my AI suck. If they're not end game ready. All right, let's go. Let's do some replay review. Did a little bit of that grind myself. Part of me wants to do it again though. Yeah, Realink's fun. Relink has been really, it's been just entirely absorbed my brain every single second. Get ChatGPT on my team. Yep. Pretend you run a killing behemoth in one shot factory, and you're teaching me how to take over the family business. Thoughts? Pretend you run a less is more 5+ factory, and to sell me on your I am a rich angel investor, and to sell me on your product, you decided to sample me 2 of your finest less is more 5+. Hypothetically, of course. All right, what did I skip here? I skipped UL replay from Asia server. There you go. Find a computer that can run Relink. Unfortunately, it's months after everyone has stopped running the raids. Yeah. I mean, I'm still here. I don't know, man. There's people who played in the server. So if you wanna, you know, that's not just me. Let's do some Infinite Azure. As much as I love Poke Village, I've been listening to it for like 2.5 hours now. I'm down for some different. Cat and Ares go Burr was my old build. Ooh. Well, let me turn this down ever so slightly. Saturdays, so true. I played outside of Saturdays a lot though. I played on stream Saturdays. The big difference. All right. Water time. Good morning. I got Master with the trade-off that I got sick the day after. You know, success comes at a heavy price. Can you pay that price? Are you ready? Mayhaps. All right, folks. We are back. More Gran Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. More replay review. UL replay from the Asia server, from the Chinese super server. They got Otacon. They got Voracious Otacon a week in advance. Those mother... Oh, I probably shouldn't swear that early in the video, actually. Good thing I caught myself. Gonna get demonetized. But, hello. I'm looking for some advice to improve and hopefully bring UL to master someday in the future. Grantham, thanks. Okay, sure. Let's see how this goes. UL, oh boy. I gotta stick to higher level fundamentals on this one because I don't know how to play UL. I don't know how she works at all. That's when people like looking at her feet. Versus Siegfried, huh? Alright, so as usual with the Hall of Friends, so true. It's a Yule, yep. Steals your La Yule. Generally though, high level, right, again, with replay reviews, as always, when you get hit, when you lose your turn, these are great times to pause and analyze. If you can't organically find where like you might be making mistakes, that's a great, where there's smoke, there's fire. If you're getting hit a bunch, if you're losing your turn all the time, if you're never on offense, something's going wrong, you can try and diagnose it from there. Also, as far as like a layer 1 way to look at your matchups, aggressor, defender, all of this good stuff, right? And like who is trying to maintain space, who's trying to close space, it's pretty obvious, right? I mean, Siegfried is kind of slow-ish, and also he's got really good big buttons to poke you out with. He gets a lot of damage. If he counter pokes you, gets a counter hit or something, so. And you are essentially a character that is worthless from full screen and has like real 50-50 mix once you get on top of someone, so. This is very much like Siegfried trying to keep you out, you trying to run on top of him, right? So, and you should play accordingly. You have to try and like get around his pokes and kill him. Sure. Isn't that unsafe? God damn, that's pretty cool. DPs do have a DP attack level of their own, right? So like they do clash with each other just like that, as you can see. That was a pretty cool way to start the set, not gonna lie to you. I'm a big fan of that. Putting yourself in the corner there is definitely not ideal, but it's fine. Ooh, I think you tried a 2H right there, just a bit late. Okay. I mean, so far, you've been losing this round to basically Rage Strike, so we'll see if that continues. You're ending your pressure in that. I don't think that's what you quite want to do, right? That's the biggest thing I'm noticing right now is like you don't have any actual pressure. You're not doing anything, right? You're just always doing auto combo into like safe but minus on block. Starlit Sky, is that what it's called? Starlit Sky. Starlit Sky. That's not pressure. There's just like a 0% chance of that opening anyone up. Right, so I think that's like the big thing is that, and like maybe like so far some Raging Strike drills, but okay, sure. Starlit Sky. You actually be able to do the 7-frame Siegfried Orkin OS? Oh, so true. I didn't realize she had a 7-frame option there. Is it a 2M or a 2S? Or a 2U, rather? Okay. Yeah, I really don't. This is the big... Okay. There's one thing I want... Yeah, he should throw you there. You're safe there. What happened? Wait, punish? Wait, really? Wait, what did you do? Aren't you -4 here? Oh, so this was -4 point blank. Which this basically is. Oh, you tried to jab him after. Ah, you're minus on block there, aren't you? Because a couple of things happen. I'm pretty sure you're minus, and you matched on your minus frames. Then he also supered you out of it. You also have to pretend that's plus, yeah. I mean, he probably shouldn't have supered on block because like you're minus. Maybe he doesn't know either. That's fair. So I'm definitely. I don't know if 2U as well. Okay. Yeah, the big thing right now. Oh my Jesus Christ. That super is so funny because all the damage is in one hit. Like a lot of SBAs do like a lot of damage over time. It's like a long animation, whatever, right? It's like it feels more reasonable. But the fact this is like it basically immediately it all happens. Like you take a little bit from the stab and then it all happens at once. It just always looks so funny, you know? It's like Jesus. Okay, I like it. I already know like the big thing I'm going to talk about at the end of this though. I think it's already happened like 7 times and it's just not okay. Okay, sure. Interesting. A little reset there. Yeah, Siegfried's sweep is very big and very fast. You got to be careful. Siegfried actually using 5U. Who would have thought? Yeah, I think, okay, that's the other thing, too, right? We got to talk about that a little bit, too, because that's, being a bit of a problem. If you lose the set, that's a big part of why. Yeah, you can't, if you can OS that with 2M, you definitely should. The thing, I guess the thing we're talking about there is, if you have a 7-frame 2M or 2U, when Siegfried does Orkin, you can just hit that button, and if 7-frame or faster, 6, 5 obviously are better, right? But, you just hit that button, and if Siegfried does anything but parry, he gets counter hits. Or if he just does Orkin into nothing, he gets punished, right? But if Siegfried does parry, then it's not even that bad, right? Is there not stance Oki off 623M air hits like that? I've seen the funny overhead. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Because they don't. The biggest problem here is their pressure, right? Their pressure is just very not real, so they never get a knockdown, almost really, and then they don't. And even when they do, though, you're right. They haven't gone into stance once, which is certainly interesting. Let's see. I'm curious if this pattern continues against Cloudy's Master Rank. Good old loading. I'm in a video where I can skip the loading. Holy shit, I'm so stupid. I was like, I'm like, man, can't wait for this loading to be over. Yeah, it's not real. It's not real. I can skip it. Yeah, this is so bad. I'm sorry. It's okay. You just don't know. But like, I'm just like, this is definitely, this is the big problem here. It's like, this doesn't do anything, man. I mean, you try, at least there you went for the parry. That actually does something, right? Like that actually does, like, minus frames to parry, that's fake. You shouldn't do that like as a layer 1, but like at least that actually does something as a pressure option, right? I don't think I've seen them in stance at all, which is like, please do it. Yeah. It's the thing that makes your character a character. Okay, sure. Just didn't react to the clutch. It's totally fine. Try to stance once, but immediately hits. Ah. Maybe that like accidentally like conditioned them off their strong option or something. Could be the case. Happens sometimes. Damn, optimal. So, I mean, I will say, if he's just like swinging far H's out like this, he's got a lot of recovery here, right? I guess I don't expect him to do it like you know, the first time, sure. The second time, sure. The third time, you can maybe look out for it. The fourth time, you know, I gotta see like, we're talking S plus 5 here, right? So I gotta see like a little bit of whiff punishing going on that. I think it's weird though. It could totally happen. Like you get caught off guard here, but like, you know, on the third or fourth far H, you gotta be like far H'ing it back or something. I think he can't keep getting away with this. He simply can't. It's got a lot of whiff. That's like a 35 frame whiff recovery, or not like total frames, I guess. Okay, sure. Pretty nasty staggers from the Gran there. Make you a little bit second guess yourself a bit. Good old UL mid screen. That famous UL damage that she does like so little of. That JU hit meaty as fuck. God damn. Oh. Okay, good bait on the DP. He's dead here, right? Oh, I think you could have Raging Strike, Raging Chained him here, and maybe, I don't know what UL's mid-screen looks like, but like, he's got no Brave points. Surely you can like auto-combo Raging Strike, Raging Chain, auto-combo, and then do this, and like maybe even get the wall bounce off that and kill him, right? I should 100% been stance after the 236M knockdown. Yeah, you're not using, I guess that's, I didn't realize that, but you guys are making a good point. That's like the other really big thing to talk about, certainly, right? There just like isn't any use of the stance, the 5U, I think it is, right? It's 5U for her, I have to imagine, anyway. Like, literally, I've never held a controller in my hands and picked UL, so I couldn't tell you. But I assume it's 5U is the input to go into it, since it's the unique thing about her. Sure, good old Gran 2M doing work. Look, I definitely, I'm just like looking out to see if anything else pops up, but like, there are three like very important points to improve on right now already. So I have enough to talk about at this point. I'm just trying to see if anything else of note comes up. Also, I realized it's like Neapolitan Gran, bro. Ruby reference in my Gran Blue Fantasy vs Rising. Ruby fighting game when, Arxis? It worked so well in BB Tag. Just keep it up. Full fighting game for the franchise. Okay, sure.
Get grabbed, comma, nerd.
Oh, pineapples cast? So true. Green Square UL steals your La UL. So true. I've done a 6-7 punish on block DP. She gets a good punish because it forces crouch. 6-6H, right? Her little tail smack? Is that her 6-6M? That's not her 6-6M. I thought it was her 6-6H. POV steals your Layul. See a lot of close M to enforce plus frames after 2 and 4H. Using L buttons there gives you better pressure. Hey, the problem, the pressure in general just like isn't really there, right? It's one of the big things. It is 6-6H, yeah. The big like tail smack. Sumac. Sumashi. Yeah, 6-7 is the low move. Yeah. Good. Where do the jets come from? I've always wondered. You know? Like, on it, like, yeah, where the fuck? Why does she have rocket jets? How'd she do that? Is that like a thing women can do? Okay, sure. Ow. Can all women do this? Can all women grow flaming jets out of their back and charge forth? I do wonder sometimes. Super jump, so true. I'm gonna speed this up, just because like I want to see again. I have my idea. I just want to see if anything else pops up. You know, the combos seem like fine, but I think you are like resetting into like what feels like Oki a lot of the time. Just not going into stance, right? Like you're like ending your combos earlier for Oki, and then like not going into like the optimal Oki stuff for yourself. Oh, sure. Good old auto combo overhead. Love to see it. Yeah, backflip after that is not necessarily going to be safe, right? Because like you're pretty minus and you're pretty close to them as well, so it's kind of the worst of both worlds. I thought Asians. I would have assumed everyone in Asia would have been like super cracked. I thought everyone in Asia would have been like super cracked, you know, like S+ there looks like master rank here or something. But the big thing I'd say, the big thing so three big things that stand out to me. Enough so that I feel like it's not even really worth talking about any like smaller minutia. Stereotyping I see, they're good at fight. I thought, you know, they got more fighting game culture over there. I thought, yeah, than we do here is the big thing. I guess when I think Asia, a lot of the times, I guess I'm thinking like China and Japan. That's not necessarily true. Could be somewhere else. But that, you know, just because that's two very major countries. But so three big things stand out to me. Enough so that I feel like it's not even really worth talking about any like smaller, minute things that you could improve. And in some particular order, in the order I think of how maybe egregious they are, I suppose. All the time in Asia, it's either or, but mostly high rank is crazy. Interesting. So, one, you just don't use stance at all, right? Which is certainly very, this is not a super good, because like stance is the thing that makes you a character, right? If only while I'm Asian, by the way, so true. Stance is kind of the thing that like makes you a character. It's like a Ladiva not using command grab, or like a Vasaraga not going to Soul Forge, or a Grimnir not doing seal dashes, right? Or a Belial not being the best in the game at everything, or Lucilius not caring about blade level, or whatever, right? So like it's very odd to play. You didn't go into stance. You tried to parry a guy once, and you tried to go into it and got hit out of it immediately another time, right? Like you didn't go into stance on offense like almost ever. So that certainly feels like something's up there. Use stance more and like learn how the Oki works around it, like the 50-50 regarding the high-low and stuff like that feels very important for this character, right? But on a more makes sense not to bother about stance below S rank, but you definitely keep using it above S+. Yeah, we're talking about S++ here, right? S++ 5. I'm honestly a little bit. I'm almost impressed. I don't mean this to be like rude at all. I mean, like genuinely curious, like how you got to S++ 5 without using stance and without really, because like you could be like, okay, well, I'm not using stance, but it's fine because I have like really strong pressure, right? So I kind of like I substitute stance for the pressure. But like the second thing I want to talk about, and maybe even probably more important than not using your stance really, is that like you don't really have pressure like at all. Like every time you got a turn, it was auto combo into. If I just go somewhere random here, I'll probably find it relatively quickly, right? Somewhere random where it's your, yeah, right here, right? Exactly. Almost every turn you have, I think, is this, right? Auto combo into Light Starlit Sky. This doesn't do anything, right? Like this, it doesn't even give you space, really, right? This does like a little bit of chip damage to your opponent that leaves you minus on block. And I guess you're trying to like, I do notice you're trying to like RPS off of it sometimes, where like you go like auto combo into minus frames, right, off the Starlit Sky, and you try to like parry a guy once, try to backflip your way out of something once, but like those are all gimmicks essentially, right? The proper, not proper, I guess, but like the basic offensive structure in this game at the very least is like you do plus frame, aka like a 6XL or a close L or like any unique plus frame move that you have as a character or whatever, right? You do plus frame into either another plus frame, a stagger, to like reset to keep your turn going forever if they're too patient, right? Or into a throw to make them not want to block, right? Staggers make them want to mash, throws make them not want to block, frame traps make them want to block, and throw baits make them not want to throw tech, right? So it's plus frame into either another plus frame, into a throw, into a frame trap, or into a throw tech bait. A throw baits kind of, but technically we call them throw baits. It's technically a throw tech bait, but yes, yeah. I guess technically it's both, but it's fine. But yeah, so one of those four, right? The reason that those are good and what you're doing is not super good, I think, is because you'll notice that a lot of those options, like one of them incentivizes you to do something, and then another one of them punishes you for doing something, right? Staggers make you want to mash. If you don't mash on a stagger, you will the opponent's turn will go forever. You can just go close L, close L, close L, close L, 6XL, 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 6XL. If you don't mash on that, their turn is infinite, right? And frame traps kill you for mashing, right? Throws make you want to block, or not want to block, sorry, right? And they make you want to throw tech, either by mashing or by hitting the throw button. And then throw tech baits kill you for throw teching and not just sitting there and blocking, right? And in fact are beaten by blocking a lot of the time. So those are synergistic, and when you guess right on any of those, you get like reward off of them, right? Namely, if you get a frame trap, those are the biggest reward. You get like your big counter hit close H starter, and you fucking do the max damage your character can do, right? If you get a throw, you get Oki, like you get some damage and it loops back into itself, which is great. They're back in the same situation, right? If you get a throw baits, that's also usually some of your highest damage you'll ever get. And if you get a stagger, there's not a lot of reward there, but you just like get to be on offense forever, right? So there's a lot of reward to them, and they synergize. That's kind of the basic idea of why that's the level 1 good offense, right? Now, if we compare that to what you're doing auto combo into the Starlit Sky, right? So say that, when it's the only option, if you're even with like the good offense, if you're only doing one option, it's gonna be bad, right? Because like if you're only ever frame trapping, they're just gonna stop mashing eventually, and then like when you do your close H or minus, and it's their turn, and you lose, right? So you're only doing one thing, pretty much. You're doing auto combo into the light ender there. So once they learn to block it, they just block it. And two, even hypothetically, the best case scenario for this is they like mash on the auto combo, and you get auto combo to Starlit Sky, and that's like good, I guess. But like, why are they just, like why are they doing that in the first place? And it ends your turn immediately. Like, there's no rule. It's like pretty decently high risk, because like you're just ending your turn with a minus on block move, and then doing some like, trying to like trick them in their face, and it's like no reward, right? Like you can't. There's no. It's simply impossible. In fact, even if they wanted to mash on the auto combo, they can't. It's a block string, right? And then I think there's a gap here. It looks like, yeah, he stood up. There's a gap there. So they could mash on that. But like if they do, they take 800 damage or something, right? And they take 800 damage, and you don't even get Oki, right? There's no gap between this and this, between the auto combo and the Starlit and the Starlit Sky. Is that true? Starlit Sky's gaps off everything? Oh well, I mean, okay. In which case, so even if he wanted to, if he really desperately wanted to lose and mash on this, he can't, right? So it is impossible for this pressure sequence to open anyone up, right? So it just doesn't. All it does is end your turn. It's not fair. It does one, in this case, for example, it does one other thing, right? Which is you're in the corner here, and it pushes you towards the mid screen. Like, unironically, it builds you like a decent amount of screen space, which is fair. But like, it's just not pressure at all. And you do this almost every single time you get a turn, right? So this is just, this is the truth. Like, if you're not using stance, and this is what your sort of like block string pressure on offense looks like, I'm like, something you're doing must be fucking amazing. Because I genuinely have no idea Oh, even I don't even remember how you win the games that you win. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like I don't even remember how you win the games. I think it's people just smashing on you, right? I can't remember because I'm like I don't understand where you find your hits on people, right? I think all of it's in neutral. I think you do find a lot of hits in neutral and stuff. But like you just like don't have offense essentially, right? Is the big thing. And by the way, this is like the best thing you do off this, which is like you go like auto combo, Starlit Sky, then you do backflip, and like from here you can get like plus frames or like the low or something. This is the kind of thing that people aren't doing this for some reason. Like if you're this close, someone did it to you once actually in this replay review. They can just like run out, they can 6XL you here, right? Pretty low committal because you're minus, right? How minus exactly actually? How minus are you off Light Starlit Sky or Far H? Depends on the character, but 6XL is a easier, safer option. And if you block it, they're plus as well, right? Even if you do manage to do so somehow. Like how minus are you off UL? Off the Light Starlit Sky? -3, right? So like you could, in theory, if you mashed, you could trade with their 6XL, because you with your 6-frame Far L, right? But like, you know, they can just like 6XL and get a full combo on you for doing that backflip. You could like backflip into the stance and parry, but like no, it's like an actual punish. I think like they'll get you during the backflip animation before you can go into the stance. So like this is like the most. This is how you got all your wins actually, right? But like this is not real. Like this is also, people can punish this quite easily, and if you only ever do this, people will punish this, right? But like not the people only one person in this video did so, I think, right? So like those two things are already just like so huge that I feel like it's not even. I'm generally impressed, but like like that, you know, you've really mastered the other parts of your gameplay, I suppose. Because I promise this is not meant to be flame at all. I'm just like genuinely, I'm like, how are like it's almost like it's almost like I'm trying to like, do I need to rethink something? So I'm like, how are you not using like the main mechanic your character is built around and not really pressuring and like somehow you beat the Siegfried, don't you? I feel like I'm in a fugue state. I can't remember how it happens. I'm not even trying to say it as like you're so shit, how'd you win? I'm like, literally, how did you, like, you know, science cannot explain. I mean, I guess, yeah, like, you get a lot of hits in neutral, right? You get a lot of hits in neutral, and that works out for you. Is chip kill wins all of them, chip them to death on block for 90 seconds? Maybe, yeah, I don't know. But like, my point is, I don't mean to have like a negative tilt to this. My point is, if you've gotten to S++ doing this, right, you're gonna hit master tomorrow. Like if you start using stance and like actually pressuring people, you're gonna be like Grandmaster by Friday. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but it's magical, right? And if you've gotten this far without like basically playing your character, right? Like if you like start using stance and start like running actual offense, you're gonna be Grandmaster like tomorrow. Something in you is a fucking prodigal son, you know? The third thing, which is not as important, is just like, you know, if you're having a lot of trouble reacting to Raging Strike, which I do believe you get hit by a bunch in this one, you can always like, it's tough to train reactions like normally, organically, but you can always just like go into training mode and have like a dummy do, you know, they run up and do 6XL or run up and do like a, you know, some other thing. Maybe you want to train multiple reactions at once. Like for now, you can like run up and block or run up and Raging Strike, right? And if they don't Raging Strike, don't spot dodge. If they do Raging Strike, spot dodge. And like you can have the dummy alternate between the two, like record two things and have it be like it alternates between the two at like some ratio, 50-50 or something, right? That can help you just like train a muscle memory that when you see the little sheen, when you hear the sounds for Raging Strike, you spot dodge and you're good, right? But yeah, that's not as important. It's definitely like probably I got in order probably, you know, do pressure. And 2, use stance, and 3, try to train your Raging Strike reactions, right? Me when the bomb goes off in my house and the fire department says I should have reacted, you know, it's a fucking, it's got a 900 frame fuse startup, man. It's kind of a skill issue on your part. But yeah, again, I don't mean this to be like negative at all. I'm just like genuinely the thought that I had in my head the entire time here is I'm like, how is this happening? Like how. Yeah, like that's why I brought up the thing about like, are people in Asia just like not as good at Grand Blue or something? I'm not even saying that. Like, I promise you, I can't phrase it honestly enough that all of these are genuine questions and not flame. Because I'm like, bro, I couldn't get the fucking S++ doing this. Maybe it's a UL diff. Maybe like they're just a god. I don't know. Maybe they're a nooch god. I don't know. Like my ass could not get to S++ on any character. I think, like, ending all of my turns for free and not using my like unique mechanic. I don't think that'll be like a really fun challenge. I don't think my ass could do it, right? So that's why I've been like, but I generally don't mean that. The real Discord probably has all kinds of info on how to do unfair offense. Yeah, I guess it probably is just, like, I guess the people just aren't stopping the backflip thing. Is that, like, this the answer to my question? People just aren't doing anything about minus frames into backflip, right? Like, it's not even like he's DPing a bunch or anything. It's backflip, I guess, right? People just don't know what to do about UL backflip, and he eats bigly off that. He uses a lot of backflip in this, certainly, right? Sure, okay. Let's take a look at Mom, Pick Me Up, I'm Scared. I'm stuck in Matera butterfly pressure, and I must spot. I mean, it's quite the descriptive name right here. From this is Hollow, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Hi again. I feel really stupid when I have to play against Matera with Nier. Look, they're sick. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Chief. I don't face a lot of Materas because I don't see them around a lot. It feels a really hard matchup for Nier. It can also be straight up playing the matchup wrong too. A couple things to note. I'm not sure how to approach this matchup, and my reads feel like I was throwing wrong things. Felt like I was throwing wrong things at the wall just to see what sticks. All my approaches to close distance seem to be too predictable and be stuffed out, and I get stuck doing the same thing over and over and hoping that it'll work. I want to work on my defensive options like baiting BC to not be pushed back to neutral. Oh, not the trying to loop. Okay, like I was wondering if it wasn't looping properly before, but it looped properly this time. Poggers. I want to work on my defensive options like baiting BC to not be pushed back to neutral. Effective rolls or spot dodges. I don't really know how. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Defensive options like baiting BC to not be pushed back to neutral. Effective rolls or spot dodges. I'm not really sure if those are defensive, but sure. Okay. As for offense, I feel like that I'm barely just out of range to contest something. I'm a slight matcher at heart. On defense, when I try to get out, take back my turn, and be on the offensive, I get stuffed and die. Butterfly pressure on arrows is scary. I don't know what to do. When I get some awkward strays from death, I have a hard time converting it into favorable situations. Okay, sure. Yuja as UL, the main fear is everything I do in stance will die to DP. Because you can't block, I guess? And I guess for some DPs, if you parry them, you might just lose anyway, right? Like if you like parry Siegfried DP, he's like invuln enough that he'll like punish your recovery, probably. That must be a fun matchup, actually, now I think about it. Oh, let's see. All right, so Matera Nier. It's an interesting one, right? For Nier in general, whenever we see a Nier here, holding the space Nier wants to hold is kind of weird, in that Nier does not necessarily like she's not a zoner and she's not like a rushdown character, but Nier is still like the one thing they kind of kept for her is that she still does kind of have, like, she has some of the best neutral in the game. Right? That's kind of her. It's worse than it used to be, but it's still there, right? So Nier kind of wants to hold a mid-range. She doesn't really want as much to like be at full screen or like right in someone's face. You want to be at kind of a mid-range, especially in a matchup like this, where obviously if you're full screen, right, then you know, Matera has like projectile advantage, which can zone you out and stuff like that. Shoot death if you try to like ominous turn or whatever. And if you're really up close, I mean, honestly, like. You know, previously I would have said go to town, but like, you know, like death dies to throw text, death dies to you getting BC'd. Like you kind of don't even, right? Like, and Matera unironically has like some decent offense. You both have bad defense, right? Like, ugh. So, like realistically, you probably want to hold like a kind of round start distance, because at that distance you are close enough that you can like, Matera can't safely poke with her fireballs because like she's in range to get like far H'd on startup or something, or like 2-1-4 H'd on startup or something like that. And you can get like your big pokes into your big confirms. It's kind of like all like what Nier. It's the only thing she does at this point. The only thing Nier does well at this point is like get a lot of damage off one big poke in the mid screen. She's kind of shit at everything else, but she is really good at that, right? She is good at that, certainly. Round stop bow car, that's mega punishable. Well, we'll see. There you go, punished. But yeah, like you want to hold a mid range in this matchup. You are kind of the aggressor, because even though you're not trying to get right in her face, the range you want to hold is closer than the range Matera wants to hold by default, right? So like you will have to like close distance to get back. Yeah, see, she's trying to run away. You want to close distance to get back to that mid range. Quick note on this: you have no death. Never mind. I was like, what? Yeah, you get it back, but not quite in time. That arrow, whenever you see her do that arrow, you can probably just fucking, you can probably just like 2-1-4 H her, right? Ominous turn and kill her. That's reactable and very killable. By the way, damn bitch, I just realized, you live like this? You have like, for your replays, you have your input overlay over the center of the screen? This can't be, right? This can't be the move, right? I can't see the match, man. There's no way. This is your preferred layout? Listen, man, whatever. If you're happy, I'm happy, but like, this, I was like, why does the screen look so weird? It's because the inputs are like over top of the match. This is wild. I forgot how to change it. It's somewhere in the options. I just noticed that my brain like didn't process it for a second. It was like that video with all the people passing the basketball back and forth, and like the gorilla walks in the middle of the screen. When I do it, it resets it. What the heck? Okay. Yeah, so you butterfly, you kind of just have to. You butterfly, Matera basically. Matera spent 50 to, for the most part, unless you do something, unless she messes up really bad. Matera spent 50 to win neutral, right? You butterfly, you kind of want to hold him because like he's gonna stay on top of you. He's got a ton of block stuns. He gets a shit ton of damage, as you can see, if they do it right. If they actually hit you off it, it's like you butterfly is a very good use skill, right? You kind of have to like, unless the Matera like really gives you a big gap to just like hit her or something, you kind of want to just like you kind of have to hold that, right? Just try and let her trigger it as soon as possible, and then you have to worry about it too much. Okay. Good BC. I was gonna say I'm looking for those BCs, certainly. I like the 6XM just for the side swap, really. Spot dodge on the hop, I wouldn't really say. Hop in general, you can definitely you can just like meet it in the middle with aerials, right? Probably like far Emmet is near or something. Okay, sure, get DP'd. Full, even. Yeah, I don't like trying to spot dodge the arrow, I suppose, not the hop. That's fair. Spot dodging the projectile is definitely good. Okay. You can't kill her here, can you? Oh, no more death. This is crazy. Why is he so scared of you? What? Why is he so scared of you? Wait, what? Nah, it's December 3rd. Okay, I was like, is he fighting pre-patch near in his head still? But like, nah, it's December 3rd, dog. You can't be so past. I know it's not a replay review for Acid, but like, Materas can't really match. On Deathless Near, they can match, right? On Deathless Near, they can match, right? Like, in general, sure. On Deathless Near, nah. Deathless Near, whose like biggest damage is auto combo into nothing, you can match. Materas match bumps in corner are very, very risky. Risky how? Against Deathless Near? What's the punish? The most damage you'll ever take is three auto combo hits. She literally can't do more than that, right? She can't do it. She can't even Raging Strike, right? That's meant when he was doing run up? Oh, okay, yeah. In which case, yeah. Wait, what happened here? Was he like ranting about Deathless Near? Yeah, see, I don't think you want to, so you jump back to this distance. I don't think you want to, like, you don't want to hold this space, right? It's not good for you. Because from here, it's very hard for you to, yeah, see, like, it's very hard for you to interact with Matera from here, right? From here, she can play the game and you can't. You just don't have, you want to probably, I would say, like, ideally, you see, like, where your throw button is? Like, so the overlay actually helps, like a mark placed on the screen. But yeah, you see this, like, throw button right here? You want to be, like, right there, maybe, like, between the D-pad and the throw button, right? That's good shit right there. Because here, you can, like, move up and threaten far H, or, like, you can 2-1-4 H or something, right? And she can't, like, if she just, like, is freely throwing out arrows, she might get counter hit and die, right? The startup on her projectiles at the end of the day is much more than on a normal. Especially for them to, like, get to you and everything. Like, if we just go to Matera here, right? You can also, yeah, you can anti-air light on the way in without even a 2H. You can just, like, smack it out of the air. Dodging Great Falls and Great, you can easily catch dodges. Yeah, and also, if you see Great Fall, kill her. It's reactable and, right, she's dead. Unless she has a butterfly covering it. If you see Great Fall, it's like 2-1-4 H hit or something. She can't do anything about it, or 2-1-4 U it, right, on reaction. Well, let's look at some of Matera's moves here. Right. I don't know, lights and far H work there. You can just, yeah, you can smack hop out of the way, even without, like, a 2H. Wow, I'm looking for Matera. Where the hell is Matera? I'm blind. There she is. Right, so, like, yeah, like, her arrows have a 12-frame startup, and they have travel time to them as well, right? So like this is like, as far as like, if this was like if you consider this like a normal, it's pretty slow, right? Like it'll get to, like, by the time it gets to you, can probably smack it, right? Similarly, by the way, this is 22 plus 22 and 48 frames of recovery, right? Like when you see this, kill her, right? If Matera does this in neutral, this is they're basically like saying, hey, I don't think you're gonna react to this. But yeah, I think one of the big problems this round is you doing like this is your space. Like I wouldn't roll in either, honestly, right? You don't want to be that close to her unless you have her in the corner. You don't want to be that far away from her. You want to be in the middle, right? It's like you come here. I don't know that I would even, like, where is it? Yeah, this I don't even roll there. I don't think this is the good spot. This is the good spacing for you, because here you can use your like superior near buttons. Well, you don't death, I guess, but hypothetically, yeah. I mean, with deathless near, you definitely don't want to run up to her either. Like if you had death, fair enough, because you got throw tech, right? That does that now. But if you got you know, from here you can like use your 2U, your far H, your 214H, all these things to fight Matera, and like it's tough for her to like safely contest back here, right? So, but like getting closer than this or getting further away than that is not really your jam, I don't think. Like, yeah, like you just got death back there. I don't think you're trying to roll through a projectile. I get it, but like, you know, if you want to maintain, roll is good to like dodge the projectile and close distance. You don't really want to close distance. Just spot dodge, you know. Give someone too much space, someone who wants space. I roll because I didn't expect a hop. I expected arrow. Yeah, so in that case too, that's fair. But like in that case, I would say roll is worse than spot dodge. Like it has less invuln. It has more counter hit frames. You can sweep it, but you can't do that to spot dodge, stuff like that, right? And the reason for that is that the thing that balances it is that roll is invincible and closes distance. That's kind of the power budget there. That's why they made roll a worse invul move than spot dodge, because it closes distance, right? But you don't want, even if they do shoot an arrow here, you don't want to close distance, I think. Me personally, I don't think you want to close distance there, right? So you want to dodge the arrow, but honestly maintain that middle distance. So you should just spot dodge, I think. So if you had like spot dodge there and gotten hopped at, I would have understood more. You know, you just guessed wrong. That's fine. You guessed wrong on the RPS. But I just don't think you want to close distance there at all, which is why the only reason you would roll over spot dodging, because spot dodge otherwise is like a purely superior defensive option, right? The only thing roll does is it moves you forward, which spot dodge doesn't. But I don't think you want that at that spacing anyway. Right? Oh boy, yeah, it's kind of one of them rounds. One of them days. Kind of got your shit rocks in the corner there. It happens. It happens. No shame in it. I guess you did want to, like, let me see. You said you didn't want to ask about how to get out of butterfly pressure, right? I mean, so the reality of the matter is, with the butterflies, they're like plus a billion, right? You have to admit this is kind of just a bad matchup for Nier. Maybe it's hard to say. Maybe I could see that. So one thing, if she's like triggering butterflies, then like you're fine, because like she's just plus as fuck. You have to hold that. With the hop, you can certainly, like, you know, the overhead has to come before the low, so you can always just like, you can fuzzy this a little bit. So you can like hold back and then for a little bit, and then hold down back, without even like seeing what she's doing, right? If she goes for an overhead, you block the overhead, and then like later on she lands, goes for a low, you've already swapped down back, and you're fine, right? So like you can certainly do, like, if you're getting hit by the high low a lot here by the hop, there's like, you know, there's ways around this. This is not mix, right? Now the Matera can like fuck around with the timing of the overhead or the low or something to mess you up, but like baseline, like there's an OS here. By the way, like, even if it's a bad matchup for Nier, honestly, if it's a bad matchup for Nier, then everything I'm saying is even more valid. Because if it's a bad matchup for Nier, then playing around like the one good spacing that you do have becomes even more important. If it's a good matchup for Nier, then you just do whatever the fuck you want and win anyway, right? But if it is a bad matchup for Nier, then playing it correctly becomes even more important, right? Does it feel epic? That's for sure. I wanted to anti-air, but I couldn't really see what was happening, basically because the butterflies in the way. Yeah, I mean, this is not a good time necessarily to go on the offensive, I think, right? Matera has some pretty, like, butterfly pressure is a big deal, right? I don't think this is probably a good time for you to just like block it out, and if you can get a BC, sure. Otherwise, you know, wait for the butterflies to go away, right? This is not like, this is her win condition, right? Like, you can try to like run head first through her win condition, but likely it's gonna get you killed, right? It's doable. It's not like you can't anti-air her or you can't stop her, but like, she's done a lot of work to set up a situation that is very advantageous for her. And if you don't play ball a little bit, at least by default, again, you can always be unpredictable. I've been playing ball the whole set, and I'm gonna 2H your ass, right? This matchup, you just can't have Death out because Fireball Circus on screen. How does Death interact? Like, if you throw like a 2, because Death is a projectile, right? So like, how does it work if like she throws like a medium arrow and you throw heavy Death, like heavy ominous turn? Does it not win? Does Death die? Death outright dies to all projectiles? Sheesh. Okay, then it's a bad matchup. Yeah, I don't think I fully my not projectile having ass did not know this. That's very funny. Again, though, if that's the case, even more important that you play your spacing correctly, so that you can like threaten ominous turn as the projectiles are starting up, threaten far H as they're starting up instead of doing it on reaction, right? Even more important to hold that middle distance at that point. Ow. Ow. Arrow wins? Yeah. Probably have to use skill it. That's true. It's also fair. You could 2-1-4U. Obviously, that's not great for you, but that's something. Yeah, now when death dies, you become bottom 1 for a few seconds. So funny. Sure. Yeah, I mean, this is tough, right? You always want to be careful approaching Matera when she's got a butterfly out, right? Because, like, it's kind of designed exactly for her to be able to put a wall up in front of herself like that. Like, even if that 6XL connects, you still die to the butterfly, right? It's not a spacing thing. You gotta be a little careful running at Matera when the butterfly... Like, butterflies, like, you have correctly identified, that butterflies are big dick, right? You do have to be careful, right? You do have to respect them. A little bit more than you currently are, I think. That's good. Oh, okay, sure. Raptor's got poked out trying to do some death nonsense. Yeah. 2-2U is not that fast of a move. I'll definitely, like, you know, if you're gonna do this, like, up close, I'll definitely try to do that, like, out of a, like, cancel out of a normal, or, you know. It is not, it's just, like, from this up, it is, like, a 17 frame startup or something, right? Fast for, like, a fucking full screen combo starting ultimate skill. But not really for, like, that up close and neutral like that, right? In terms of push a character in the corner, it's best to either wait her butterfly out and then get her, or prevent her from setting up in the first place. Yeah. Rip my use skill. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to use, like, big, like, imagine, that's, like, what is a startup on 2-2U, actually? Let's take a look at this. So, near, ultimate skills, ultimate death reversed, 13, okay. So, right, so, like, imagine if you were, like, that close to her and you, like, far H'd, right? That's, like, you know, it's not quite the place for that move. Right, so it's just like it's a good move, but not from that up close since it's so slow. It's designed to, like, you know, from further ranges where, like, the pokes are slower, right? So, like, if you far H'd point blank and got counter hit, it'd be like, well, yeah, same thing with the U skill. The U skill's even slower, if anything, right? The U skill has one more frame of startup on it, so it is rip the U skill, but it is unfortunate. Matera could 2M that, then it's useless on an opponent that reacts well. Even if they don't react, though, it's just like, you know, the odds that they throw out some button there are not that bad, and, like, because using a slower move, whatever you throw out, they'll probably lose whatever they throw out. It's the same reason, like, we hit lights up close, we hit heavies from far away, right? It's not just a range thing, it's a speed thing, too. Okay. Keep her in the corner, that's good. God, Brave Counter just kills this character, that's so funny. You just got Brave countered and you just, like, lost your character for, like, 10 seconds. Look at this. This has nothing to do with, like, you, but, like, look at this. So you get Brave countered. I mean, you had low death stocks, to be fair. What's the best time to Brave counter you? You get Brave countered at 69. How long until you become a character again? 63, 62, 61, 60, right? This is so long. Dizzy Wings of Light just triggered. You good air to air, but, like Dizzy Wings of Light just went and you had, like, 4 more seconds left to go. Isn't that insane? This Matera is really scared of Deathless Near, though, I will say. I mean, like, when you're literally one hit, I suppose, but your best bet is probably still to run offense on him, right? Okay, sure. Neutral U without hits should refund death meter TBH? And now you're kind of in the circus, unfortunately, in this projectile carnival. He gets a knockdown, she does have more projectiles, just, like, a little bit ahead on the tempo, right? Of things. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, that was just, sometimes you just get stuck in limbo, right? A little bit late on the roll. Like, they're mixing up their timing well as well, right? Yeah, Butterfly caught you jumping, you got womboed. 2-2U beat that. Right, yeah, 2-1-4U missed, they baited it like that. This is just, like, how it goes. Like, this is not, you know, you just guessed wrong, like, 6 times in a row on the zoning. Yeah, I think, and they, like, had momentum as well. Like, it, you know, that's not the worst thing in the world, despite how rough that must have felt to have happened to you. It just happens sometimes. You don't dwell on that too much. After knockdown, I'm not sure what to do in the corner for pressure other than close L, or frame trap. 2L with Deathless Near. Yeah, you got nothing. Deathless Near is like not a character, right? Like, yeah, even your throws do less damage than other characters, right? Deathless Near is not a pressure character. Deathless Near is not a character, in fact. Or like far H, yeah. I mean, even like your normals are smaller, right, than they normally would be. Like your far H is not even that good, Deathless. I think your best play is to play defensively, actually, right? Like just wait until death comes back. You can like 6XL and then auto combo to like waste time, right? Just like to have a long animation. Like if you do get some offense, like just auto combo them and just like literally waste their time with the auto combo. Good old super, so it's a shit ton of damage on low stocks, certainly. Triple attack overhead low, yeah, again, more so just like to waste damage than anything. Far H, Far M, and 2U, maybe some others. Even if I have them in the corner, I mean, I guess. If you have them in the corner, you get to wait, right? If I have them in the corner, you know the thing people do where they just like they sit at like a medium distance, kind of poke at you with like 2M and stuff, right? I would do that. If you have them in the corner, don't like go in on them because like if this Matera is very scared of Deathless Near, but like realistically, the risk ward's in their favor still. I feel like if you're running Strike Throw, you don't have any Strike Throw, man. Your throw does 2,000 damage, your strike does 2,000 damage, right? Them matching on you in the corner has higher risk reward, right? Like you just don't do anything. So I think what you probably could do instead is like poke at them in the corner, keep them in the wall, right? Like if they're almost dead, yes, like they literally have like 1,000 health, sure, but like stand at like a middle, because your buttons are still okay even in Deathless, right? So like stand at like a middle distance, like kind of like right outside that 2U far H range, right? And just kind of poke at them, because my understanding of Deathless Near is that again you are literally garbage. So your whole goal is to stall until Near comes back, like real Near, like until the actual character can be played again. So the best, if you have offense somehow as Deathless Near, which like if you have them in the corner and you're Deathless, I don't even know how you got them there, but if you did, which you did, Matera ran away from you mostly is what happened. But like if you do get offense as Deathless Near, then I think what you should do, how do I describe this? Okay, I'm gonna use another replay that we did earlier just because like it's the easiest way to describe it. We're on 7-11 for yours, I'll keep that in mind. Because like it's a thing that happens to everyone, but it's hard to explain in words, I think. What this Catalina does right here, it's kind of back up and like poke every now and then and stuff. Do this, right? Now, unfortunately, the real answer is that like they don't respect your strike throw because they shouldn't, and they shouldn't respect this either because the only reason any of this offense works is the threat of like eating a big combo, right? So realistically, when you're Deathless Near against anyone who like knows, they're just gonna run at you because like there's no risk. Like it's all reward, no risk, right? You can't do anything, and if you hit them, you don't do any damage, and you don't have any Oki, and if they hit you, you're a low health character and you have no defense because you have no death and you have no good buttons. And like realistically, if someone is letting you run offense as Deathless Near, because that's what it is, they have to let you do it. If someone's letting you do it, do this just to waste time, right? Waste as much of their time as possible until you become a character again. But like, no one should let you run offense as Deathless Near. Like that's why I've mentioned it every single time. It's like what this Matera is doing, I think, is a big mistake, right? Like I think they're still like pre-patch Near PTSD in their head. They keep running away from you when you're Deathless, and I'm like, bro, she's like 4 tiers all by herself, bottom 1. She can't even fucking Raging Strike you, you know? There's no conversions off anything. Interesting. I mean, I would say she can't. I don't. If she's doing this overhead out of the hop, you can just BC her ass, right? That also works. Like, she can't like. If she lands, she can spot dodge or something. But like when she's this high up, hey Steeler, how's it going? When she's this high up, right? If she hits you with this overhead, just don't be afraid to BC the hop. I don't think I'm like giving you information that's gonna kill you. I don't think there's like a 100% canned kill BC every time Matera hop setup. If there is, my bad. But like I do this at least. I haven't died for it yet. Just BC the hop. Sometimes you have 3 brave points and like you want out of the situation, right? This shit sucks. I don't want to be here. That works too. A little bit riskier than BC is the only thing, but of course less resource intensive. Yeah, the hop high lows, I think you just need to have a, again, you can practice the fuzzy if you want. Because it is like, Materas do this all the fucking time, right? It's like the core of the fucking character. So if you just like, you know, have a Matera do hop into like a late overhead, or have a Matera do hop into an early overhead, have a Matera do hop into low, and have a Matera do hop into like late low, right? Or, you know, maybe like early overhead, late overhead, and then just a low, right? Because the low is always going to be last anyway. And just like have her alternate between those like randomly, and try to fuzzy, like try to block all of it without reacting, right? Try to just like hold back for some amount of time and then hold down back. Fuzzy it, basically. Because that's the one thing that's catching you kind of like when it maybe shouldn't. Because like butterfly pressure is scary. But like sometimes it just hops in and lows you, and it probably shouldn't be happening that way, right? Like you did it there, I think, right? That was like you blocked high for a bit, and you blocked low right away. Like that's good. This is what, like that's, I think you did do it here, right? But it has been catching you a couple of times. Yeah, like that's exactly what you should be doing there. Hops in what? So true. She did what to the who? Isn't that child 16 years old? It's okay. She's a evoker. She's gonna live forever. Guy with the ads. Oh, I was telling you to fuzzy the high low from the hop, right? You've done it a couple, like right here. I think you're doing it right. Like right somewhere. Right. Just you wait until I get to 10 mana. Right. Wait. Right. Oh, I think I'm okay. Point. You did it before. Disconnecting on her, hops in and blows you. I think I said hops in and blows you up. Yeah, no, hold back for a bit, then hold down back. And you can, I'll say you could set up like a drill in training mode where you like record a Matera doing hop into like an early overhead, hop into a late overhead, and hop into a low, and then have the dummy alternate between those three at random and try to block all of them without ever getting hits. Because you can. It's not a reaction check. It's an OS, right? We're delicious, indeed. What the? Her hop is timed pretty close to her jumping attacks. After the first 21 frames, she can hit and infiltrate to second damage age, can whiff. It could be intentional or not to whiff. Interesting. I guess that's why she can safe jump with her hop too, right? It's timed similar to her jump. I've seen Matera's safe jump off hop certainly before. Safe hop. So that's one of them rough ones. Help, mom. They're zoning me. They're bullying me. Okay, sure. Yeah, this is good, right? You get the one ultimate. Oh, you can cancel. You can use them as combo starters now. I forgot about that. Honestly, I wonder if like you'd rather just like. So it's interesting. I wonder if you'd rather just get the 2/1 for you and just chase after her, and get like basically full Oki, right? I mean, you probably could have converted that into something better, but you know, it's still good. It's still good. Okay, sure. My brave counter. So sad. God, maybe this character is bottom one, man. I don't fucking know. No, that doesn't happen to anyone else, man.
Get grabbed, comma, nerd.
Like, this is the only character in the game that can have a Raging Strike whiff on them and still lose the game off it, right? There's no one else in the game that this situation is bad for them. I think Nier is way worse than Anila. This character, maybe this character is fucking bottom one. So there was a lot of pushback when the patch came out, and I was saying Nier is like really bad, and like a lot of Niers like hadn't given up hope yet, and a lot of people in general were still just like on the train of like, bro, like she was fucking top one. There's no way. Like I bet you she's like at least still mid tier or whatever, right? Like she's so broken. So like when I made the tier list, I was like, then a lot of Niers dropped her, yeah. And then so when I made the tier list, I'm gonna put her at like bottom 5 because like I think already people are gonna fucking call me an idiot for this. But like the longer this patch goes, I'm like, man, this character is so bad. There's no one else in the game that like has a brave counter whiff on them and loses off of it, you know? Damage is still really good, sure, but it's not really, you know, it's not that important, I guess, right? Her damage is good. She is probably, she's not even the best in the game at it, but she's, you know, top 5 or 10 or something at like probably 5, like mid-screen damage off like a single poke, like a stray poke that lands, right? But like, I don't know, man, who gives a fuck, right? I know technically doesn't have a weakness. All right. Oh, hold on. Her weakness is that her weakness is her numbers are just too low, right? Her normal ults and damage is still very, very good. Her normal ults are not good anymore, right? Because her ults are they die to brave counter, right? Her ultimate skills you can brave. They gave her the ability to use them as combo starters, but they lost their invuln at the end. So whenever Nier does an ultimate skill, you brave counter death on the right timing, and you turn it to deathless Nier, right? So her ults are actually quite bad now. In combos, sure, but even like the pressure ones aren't good, right? It's basically saying why play her on better Shotos? Well, yes, but no, it's not that she's outclassed. Is like oh, she's pretty good. So there's others who are better. Adil's big thing is that she's like she's not pretty good. Like her, like at a certain point, like why, you know, the idea there, Squid, is like hypothetically, say Deathless Nier's auto combo did 18,000 damage, right? Right, just imagine, you know, if Deathless Nier's auto combo did 18,000 damage, then suddenly all this nonsense I've been talking about how she just like has no risk reward whatsoever is gone, right? So like, it's not just a matter of your kit. The numbers at play also matter, right? So like, you know what? It's like her numbers are too low, man. She just doesn't do that much. She doesn't, like, even her damage, like they nerfed the U skills. Her damage isn't even that good anymore, right? Her outings, the numbers of her fireballs are too slow, etc., right? Nier's thing is that she has good things. She doesn't function as a character. She's basically not a character. I don't know that that's necessarily accurate. It says that she has way too. So Nier, the big thing with Nier is essentially like all the universal system mechanics kill her. She went from being the best character at dealing with throw and brave counter to probably the worst, the single worst, right? Like, and that's a big, like, you know, if you are the character who is the most hurt by throw teching and brave countering, which are 95% of offensive interactions in this game, right? Then you're probably the worst character in the game. I don't think she doesn't function as a character. I think she is directly hard countered she's directly hard countered by the system in a way that basically no other character is. On top of, she fucking can't Raging Strike sometimes and whatever. She's low health, she has bad defense, whatever. So what he's saying is Anila kills him 3-4 touches. That's why she ain't too good. Yes, and her fireballs, the numbers on her fireballs are too slow. Like, her fireballs have too much reaction. The fireballs themselves are not good enough, right? Like, a lot of her pressure tools aren't good enough. A lot of her buttons are too slow. Like, it's not just her damage. Like, Anila is a very easy example of Catalina, in my opinion, used to be this, and they turned her shit up to 11, right? But Anila is a very good example of a character that is like, you're right, when you say she has no weakness, it's kind of a tangent, I know, but like, you know, we're done the replay review, and Hollow, I think, was kind of listening as I talk, so I don't need to reiterate on too much stuff. But you're right in the sense that Anila, there is no, like, you go, oh, she has everything. She's got big normals. She's got like decent mid-screen conversion. She's got a fireball. She's got like some plus frames. You know, she's got like, she can poke well. She's got 60,000 health. She's not like low health or anything like that, right? She's not that slow. So you're like, oh, okay, like what's the problem, right? But again, her problem is just that like all like the numbers and all of her shit is meterless DP. Exactly, meterless DP, dude. She's broken. But the problem is just like, you know, the numbers and all her shit is just too low, right? Like her fireball, like. She has a bunch of bad tools, is what she has, right? Unfortunately, having a bunch of bad tools is not really that meaningful, right? Like there's just too much recovery on these, right? There's too much recovery on these, and there's too much startup on these, right? Like she doesn't do enough damage. Her like the only reason like Anila has basically she is a character. She has this, right? Is what she has. She has this fucking thing, right? So the only reason Anila is like actually winnable, because like this thing is overtuned. Like it's really, Anila feels almost like Lily from Street Fighter 6 or something, right? Where like Anila is like 2 moves the character, right? This thing's really good. Is really all it comes down to. Is Anila like 668 is actually overtuned. It's too good. And then the rest of her is like meh, okay, right? Like she has a bunch of bad tools and one really good one that just kind of like does its best to band-aid the rest. And it doesn't really work, but it at least it is. You have to respect it. You gotta respect it. But anyway, I mean, we kind of talked. So let's look at Hollow's questions right here and try to answer them. Right. So I'm not sure how to approach this matchup. My reads felt like I was throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. All my approaches to close distance seem to be too predictable. Yeah. And I was getting stuck doing the same thing over and over, hoping it'll work. So the answer to this question, I think, again, Anila 2 tricks draft. Yeah. The answer to this question, I think, is that you correctly diagnosed the problem, and it's not your fault, actually. But you didn't, I don't think, find the solution, right? You are right that it's going to be very difficult for you in this matchup to get into close range with Anila. And that's not you being bad. You obviously, if you played better, it'll be easier. But, like, realistically, it's just that, you know, it's just not, like, that's her whole fucking thing is not letting you do that. How to approach this matchup for you, again, I think, is Nier in general. There are very few matchups in the game, I think, where post-patch Nier does not want to hold some kind of middle distance where she has better, bigger buttons than almost every character in the game. Definitely more so than Matera, right? So you want to hold some sort of middle distance where you can threaten with far H, ominous turn, 2U, stuff like this. And again, your character is synergistic in the sense that you have these very good pokes. And again, you have like top 5 or something, highest damage in the game off single poke landing, right? So you want to hold that middle distance to the point where like if you're, pull out the Microsoft Paint, baby! Pull out the Microsoft Paint, because whenever I talk about spacing on screen, it's easier to do this than put it into words. So like, again, if this is the wall, and this is the whole stage, right? Like, if you're like here, and Matera's here, then she's just throwing fireballs, and you can't, and like, apparently you can't even ominous turn through them, you just die, right? If you're here, and Matera's here, it's kind of a fucking clown fiesta. Like, honestly, Matera might have better up close than you do, but even if you don't, like, you know, she does some pretty good damage, you have bad defense, she has bad defense, you know, she's got good pressure, she's got some weird shit you can do, you got a lot of plus frames. It's kind of, like, you know, this isn't bad, but like, it's kind of it's a clusterfuck, right? But if you're like here, and she's like here, right? Suddenly, this is like a little too close for comfort to safely throw fireballs. Because like if she just, for example, if she throws a fireball, you can like try to jump it and kill her. But also, you can like stuff her on startup. You just happen to be throwing a far H or a 2U or something, right? And also like ominous turn from this range might very well hit her before the fireball hits you, right? Or even hits death, right? It might hit her out of her startup, right? Like this is the, and like again, the risk reward here is way better because if she throws like a fireball and it hits you, I mean, you take like 800 damage and you go to like here, which is not good for you, right? You get pushed out a bit, sure. But if you hit her, you do like 7k because you're near, right? So like this middle distance here is, I think, how you approach this matchup, is trying to hold this distance, you know? Where you can far H, right? Or you can 2U, or you can kind of like run up suddenly and 6XL at her. Like this is also like the 6XL threatening distance, roughly. It's a little bit further out nearest far H, right? Like you can like try like, if she's like really worried about your normals, you can suddenly try and run in and 6XL her, and then at least you have plus frames and it's your turn up close and it's not as much of a clown fiesta, right? This, I think, is your spacing for Nier, and honestly, I think this is your spacing for Nier. Nier is a very one-dimensional character at this point. She has one thing that she is very good at, like, I'll take her over the field for the most part, right? Like the only characters with higher mid-screen damage than Nier off a single poke, not off an auto combo, right? Because a lot of characters can do a lot of damage off auto combos. Like the only characters with like higher mid-screen damage than Nier off a single poke are like, or like more reward, I guess. Or probably what, like just like it's like Catalina and Lucilius and maybe Belial, and like that might be it, right? So like this, like you are a one-dimensional character. This is what you do. You are really fucking good at this. Versuja off of single poke. She's in my off a sync, like you can't get auto combo. You get far M, right? 2M? You get 2M to 5U, I guess, right? Yeah, I guess. Does she do more damage than Nier? It's close. She's in that discussion. It might be Versuja and then Nier, or Nier and then Versuja, something like that. Yes? Yeah. Nier does a lot, right? Like Nier does like, like Nier can actually do like 8k in the mid screen, right? Off a single poke. Like I might even be underselling her. It might actually, like in good situations, it might actually only be like BL5 Lucilius that beats her out in the mid screen, right? But point being, you do this one thing incredibly well and you are garbage at everything else. So I think your default approach to almost all matchups is hold this mid range, fight them from a place where they can't fight you, and then get that really big reward when you inevitably win this Nier favored situation, right? And then sometimes you fight Lucilius and you just lose because he maybe has better pokes than you and he's better at everything else than you too. But that's not fair. He's maybe top 1, you're bottom 1. That's not right. At a certain point, the game's balanced. The game's very balanced. But like, if you take literally like maybe the best character in the game and the worst character in the game, it's gonna be hard, right? It's gonna be hard. Versuja 2M reaches all the way from Djibouti, so it's Nier 2U. Yep. So that's the first question there, right? I think how you approach this is hold that middle distance. 2. I want to work on my defensive options like baiting BC, not be pushed back to neutral, effective rolls or spot dodges, etc. I don't really know how. Big problem. If you bait BC as Nier, death still gets hit by the BC and you still died. Because if you're deathless Nier, not a character anymore. So unfortunately, you don't bait BC as Nier because you're the worst character in the game at dealing with BC. Well, I mean, you don't bait BC in a normal sense, right? You don't bait BC in the sense that you like spot dodge and you kill it, right? You have to like try to do some 2-3, even that doesn't work anymore. 2-3-6M, death dies and you die. BC's a problem for you, right? But I guess kind of as far as your defensive options, right? I'll say that 1, you should BC more, I think, because you have correctly identified that like Matera's pressure is scary. I don't know what to do. You can BC a lot of that shit, man. Or you can BC a lot. And you, again, Nier unfortunately has some of like she has pretty bad defense. Like she has some pretty bad defense. I'm not gonna say some of the worst in the game because her 6XL is still pretty good, right? But like she has good buttons to mash on a bar, right? So I'm gonna roll myself back a little bit. But your defense is not good, right? And you're a low health character, so like when you make a mistake, it hurts you more. So like, you know, BC more, I'll say, certainly. As well as like, if butterflies are on screen, you can hold them a bit. They won't be on screen forever, right? Fuzzy the high-low off the hop and hold the butterflies. You might eat some chip, you might have to do some strike throw, but like, when Matera has butterflies up and she hits you, holy shit, she does like Vasaraga damage. She does like 10k, man. It's fucking insane. So like, if you have to take up a couple of throws, if you don't have death out, I can still make BC regular. Yeah, if you don't have death out, yes. If you don't, yeah, that's correct. If you don't have death out, you can just like, you know, walk up and close L spot dodge or whatever, and you're totally fine. That's true. But the other thing is to how to not be pushed back to neutral. This is pretty good for you, man. Like, if you have her in the corner, sure. But like, a lot of the time, being pushed back to neutral is like, you still gotta win for you, right? Like, it's like, you know, if she like, it's not that big of a deal. Effective rolls or spot dodges, I would say like all this is really, we talked about it a little bit, is just like, only roll if you want to close distance, right? Your spot dodges are pretty good. You just didn't use them sometimes when I think you should have, right? But only roll if you're like, so if she shoots an arrow at you and you're here, if you're holding this space and shoots an arrow, you spot dodge. If she's here and you're here, right, and she shoots an arrow at you, then you roll. Only roll if you want to close distance, because again, roll is just a worse dodge than spot dodges, but it closes distance. But the weird thing is, as near, you don't always want to close distance. If you're here and you roll, you end up like here, and that's not good for you actually. You'd rather be here. So as far as like using your rolls and spot dodges effectively, I don't think you like did a bad job or anything. You were spot dodging her projectiles, which you should do against Matera, because then it makes her cooldowns longer, so that's very good, right? But you just like used roll sometimes, so I don't think you needed to close distance, right? All right, as for offense, I feel like I'm barely just out of range to contest something. I'm a slight masher at heart on defense, so try to get out, take back my turn, be back on the offensive if I get stuffed and die. Oh, I see, you have like, okay, I see. Like this is, you kind of, I think you have them flipped here a little bit, I see. So this is what we talked about with defense, brave counter more, and like, it's okay to try and mash sometimes, right? To try and mash out of the corner if your opponent is not, if your opponent is like doing spaced pressure, if they're not just like running up in your face and running a bunch of up close pressure, then you have to be a lot more careful. But if they're like standing back and like, you know, what, like just kind of poking at you, you can like try to 6XL out or poke out or something, certainly, right? But I think the big thing for your defense in this matchup, the thing that caught you the most, I think, was just hop into low, right? Fuzzy the high low off the hop there from Matera, and I think you would have been hit a lot less in this set, I think. And then finally, when I get some awkward stray hits from death, I have a hard time converting into favorable situations. Unfortunately, I can't help you on this one, but yeah, okay, I was gonna say, I was like scrolling down, like looking for Luca here, because I'm like, I'm someone like, I don't know like the good near routing or like how to end your combos or something post-patch especially, right? But like, you know, the near community is very, especially like the ones who are still left, are very dedicated, right? So like they will be very willing to share information with you, right? This is definitely something that you can that you can. I mean, yeah, Luca, you know, he's got a lot of near knowledge to share, certainly. So like on that one, I can't really help you on this, unfortunately, right? I guess I will say, what I can help you on is defining favorable situations, right? So I think favorable situations, what you want out of your hits, out of your stray hits. I mean, obviously, if you can kill her, kill her. But realistically, you want favorable situations is a place where either you get her to the corner and then you can pressure her from there, because people will say Nier doesn't need the corner, right? And yes and no. Nier doesn't need the corner for her max damage, right? But, or like for her really high damage anyway. I think there are some things you can only do in the corner, but Nier doesn't need the corner for her high damage, but that people who say that I think are kind of missing the point on what else the corner does. The big thing, if anything, I would say more so than the damage people get out of the corner combos. The big thing in the corner is that your opponents can no longer safely adjust their spacing, right? They have to, like, you can walk forward and back, and they can only walk forward, right? So, especially against a neutral demon like Nier, being in the corner against her is horrifying, because now you can't even space around her really good buttons, right? Like if you have her in the corner, right? You can, like if she's here, you can hold your ideal spacing, and there's like nothing she can do about it. Right? So, still, corner is good for everyone straight up, yeah. So even as Nier, getting people in the corner is still good. So I would say your favorable situation is either it gets them to the corner, right? Or it kills them, obviously. Otherwise, I think it's does a decent amount of damage and resets me to this spacing. Right? Does a good amount of damage, doesn't use too many death stocks, because like death stock efficiency is very important on Nier now, or like ends with like a 5U where I have a lot of time to like end with 5U on like 9 death stocks or something, and like get near right, like, yeah, start recharging death immediately, right? Yes. But like, yeah, ends on this spacing, or lets me recharge death, or puts them in the corner, or like kills them, right? Obviously, kills them is pretty good for you, right? But yeah, as far as how to achieve that with her kit, I unfortunately can't help you. But again, lots and lots of Niers available, I'm sure, that can share some information with you on that, right? But yeah, oh sorry, I bumped my mic right there. This is an hour and 10-minute video. I'm breaking this up into, okay, I think I'm breaking this up into 2. We did the UL, and then we did this. This is 2 videos, I think. I recorded it as 1, but it's an hour and 10 minutes long. This took, I have way more to say about the Nier replay review than I thought I did, I suppose. So that's my bad. Yeah, so I guess this is 2. Cool. Yeah. All right, well, VOD watchers, hope you had a good time with the video. I know that I had a good time hanging out. So if you did, anyway, obviously, any kind of likes, subscribes, comments, bells, all greatly appreciated. If you want, go become a member. Link in the description down there. Helps out a lot. You can join some sub-only streams. You can get some special emotes and stuff using the chat. It's a fun time. But obviously, no pressure. If you have some disposable income, sure. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys just being here and watching. Otherwise, I also, if you want to join the Discord, link in the description. If you want to join the stream, link in the description. Come by, hang out. Just be like a decent human being if you join, or I'll shoot you in the head in Minecraft. Most importantly, hope you had a good time hanging out today, as always. I know I sure did. Lots to talk about, man. I've done a lot of replay review today, and like, funny enough, I feel like definitely repeated some concepts. There's like a lot of like varied stuff happening today, so that was very interesting. Very, very good time. But I was gonna do it.
Very good on.
Leaf.
This person
Hello,
is
Leaf.
incredibly smart and attractive.
Thank you very much for the 7 months, and thank you for not immediately coming in with a squished little guy. I would hate to have to shoot you on sight. But yeah, having a lot of fun with Gran. Gonna be a lot more coming your way, and until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace. And fellas, that is also gonna do it for the stream today. And quick note, tomorrow, also Gran Blue, right? I think I'm gonna, maybe we'll put something else in that Monday time slot eventually. But I think, for now, I think I'd rather play some more Gran Blue than play some more Guilty Gear. So we're probably going to be doing that. At least for tomorrow, it's more Gran Blue. We'll see if it changes from then on. Yeah, if you want to come by and hang out, we'll probably be actually playing the game a bit more tomorrow instead of just like doing replay review. We're going to play, we got something planned with Lazy. It seems pretty fun. And then playing some Leadville, playing some Eustace, doing the whole 9 yards right there. But yeah. Oh, also, I guess last thing before I go, Games Cup, right? Games Cup is this weekend, next weekend, I guess. Like, it's next Sunday. However, Games Cup 2025 starts time. So here's the thing, right? There's a funny. I wanted to watch this on stream, but there's a slight problem. There's a slight problem with that. So we're probably gonna watch it the Monday after, is my current guess. Leaf. Okay, you know what? Real quick, I gotta shoot a guy in the head real fast. / timeout. You know what, Leaf? I'm not live for a while. I'll see you. / timeout. Withering Leaf. I'll see you in 25,000 seconds. There you go. That's like tomorrow or something, right? So here's the thing. This is the schedule for Games Cup. This is in JST, right? JST. So top 8 is 5:15 p.m. To 10:15 p.m. JST. Problem, I'm an Eastern Standard Time enjoyer, right? 5:15, I already see you can do it, I did it before. 5:15 JST to EST, 3:15 a.m. Monday Eastern Time. So, listen, I'm built pretty different. I got fucking work in the morning. I don't think I'm gonna start a stream at 5:15 p.m. because that means this ends at 8:15 a.m. for me, which is like, bro, I'm like at work at that point, so I can't quite do that, unfortunately. But what we'll probably do is I'll find the VODs, gone but not forgotten. Leaf, I'll forget about them. It's fine. What we'll probably do is I'll find the VOD and we will watch it the Monday after. We'll watch like the top 8, like the recording of the VOD, the Monday after, I think. But like, unfortunately, I probably am going to stay up to see the Sandalphon trailer because gotta get that grind going. See when his release date is and shit, because that should happen probably at like 6 a.m. or something, right? Is it at the end of top 8? Maybe it's at the end of top 8. I want you guys to wake up for work, record that video, then do work. We'll see. But yeah, so just a quick update on that is that it's happening too late probably to reasonably watch unless you have you don't have anything happening on Monday. But yeah, That's the 19th, obviously, is when it's happening, aka the 20th our time. That is otherwise gonna do it for your boy, though. Hope you guys had a good time with the stream. Lots of replay reviewing, lots of information sharing. Possible to point out when a player did something smart when we watch the VOD. Yeah, sure. I do often, I can try to like analyze it a bit more. Usually just like when we're watching tournament VODs, I usually just like chill. But yeah, we can definitely do a little bit more analysis if such a thing would be of interest. Wonder what else will be shown besides Sandal? I don't know. I imagine we get like some confirmation that Sandalphon's coming with the patch, kind of like how we did with Versuja. He should be, but like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll get like a teaser for the next DLC, because the first season pass got like mostly like leaked right away, right? I don't think we know anything about who's coming after Sandy, right? Like, is it Selphon? Is it fucking that one dragon that everyone wants to fuck? I don't know. Thediel, whatever the hell. Tyrant, the one that Tyrant wants in the game really badly? Who knows? Yeah, we'll see. It'll be a week from now, just about. Slamretta. Usually also teaser for the next character, yeah. Uma Musume? Mambo. Alright, well, fellas, it's been a pleasure. I'm gonna end the stream on the YouTube side of things right here, and then Gran Brews 2, what the fuck? And we'll find someone to raid on the Twitch side of things right here. So, goodbye forever, YouTube. Hope you had a good time. And Twitch, let's find someone